What I always believe, I know nothing. So my gurus are the one who are passing some messages through me. So I am empty. One thing is, we always get a question in the mind, right? Why should we practice the scriptures? Why should we read, or why should we practice certain things written in the book? It's a very important question we get. Why should we read, right? You have books and so many books are there. Why should I even bother to go near them? Okay. So I want to tie this with two important things that usually happens to us in our life. Right? The first thing is, it brings, let us take the first one. See, what happens is, whenever we think about something, or whenever we want to be happy, we always attach a reason to it, right? Let's say my daughter got a job, I'm happy. My son got a seat in a college, I'm happy, right? I got a new vehicle, I'm happy. I bought a new house, I'm happy. So we always attach a reason to be happy, and this has become an addiction for us. You think about it, right? Anything you want to be happy, you want a reason to be happy. Can you be unconditionally happy without any reasons? Right? So these scriptures will give you techniques, will show you the path where you can be unconditionally happy. That is one very, very important thing why we should study these scriptures. Right? Second topic, it's more around trust. Look at a small baby, right? Look at for example, let's say you have a 4-year, 5-year-old kid, and you tell the kid, ask the kid a question: who is going to put the food on your plate in the night? The child, without thinking even once, right, tells that my mother will take care. That is unconditional trust. She is not attaching any trust to the correct. Okay. So a magu tanna taige 100% unconditional trust in the here it is giving this statement, right? Come to our lives, think about us. Whom do we trust? We just go do something, right? ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರ್ತೀವಿ. ನಾಳೆ ಏನೋ ಆಗಬೇಕು ಅಂದರೆ ನಮಗೆ ಅದರ ಮೇಲೆ ನಂಬಿಕೆನೇ ಇರೋದಿಲ್ಲ, ಯಾವುದೇ ವಿಷಯ ಆಗಲಿ, ರೈಟ್? ನಾವೇನು ಯೋಚನೆ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ ಅಂದರೆ, ವಿ ಆಲ್ವೇಸ್ ಥಿಂಕ್ ಇನ್ ಆರ್ ಮೈಂಡ್, ಇದು ಆಗುತ್ತೋ ಇಲ್ವೋ, ವಿಲ್ ಆಲ್ವೇಸ್ ಬಿ ಇನ್ ದ ಡ್ಯುಯಾಲಿಟಿ. ಡು ಯು ಗೋ ವಿತ್ ದಟ್ ಅನ್ಕಂಡೀಷನಲ್ ಟ್ರಸ್ಟ್? Okay, so these books take you towards that unconditional trust, right? And once you have that unconditional trust in the divinity, you can call it whatever you want, the energy or the supreme source or God or whatever you want to call it. Once you get that unconditional trust, you automatically become divine. So this is one of the reasons these scriptures also help you towards moving towards that unconditional trust. So ee eradu I felt are the major reasons why anyone should practice the scriptures. Of course, if you get a guru who is guiding you on this path, you don't need to really go back to the scriptures, but even guru guides you towards going towards the scriptures and studying them, right, while you are doing the practice. So it is not only reading the books, it is also about practicing them in your real life. So these 2 points I just wanted to bring in the notice, because we always have questions on why should we study the scriptures, right? And the last one is the blessings, or I would call it as the divinity coming and blessing you. You will automatically get it the minute you unconditionally trust it. Okay, so these are the reasons why you should study scriptures. Today anyway, we know that we are talking about Hatha Yoga Pradipika, and these were the 2 reference books I referred. The first one was the Hatha Yoga Pradipika of Swatmarama. This is commentary of Jyotsna. I think this clue we got it in Kanyakumari, where they asked us to look at this book. This book is really amazing. I think everybody should buy it and keep it in your library. It's from Adyar Library and Research Center. So very good book, precise transcriptions of this Sanskrit shlokas to English. Okay. The second one I referred to was Hatha Yoga Pradipika by Mukti Bodhananda. So this is also a very good book, very detailed descriptions of every single shloka. If you have doubts, you can refer this book to get clarity on those things. Okay, so these are the two books I referred. This is a reference talk we attended in Kanyakumari, where they did a 4-session on Hatha Yoga Pradipika. For whoever who missed it, this is available on YouTube, so I put the QR code. You can scan it and you can go to that channel and you have all the videos available there. So this is one of the other reference material I look into. And Dr. Jairam Mahadevan, I think definitely you should Google or search about this person. Very interesting documents he has written, and if you look at his profile, you will really see what he is. So around, at this point of time, around 11 different yogic centers he is a consultant to, and he has done a lot of publications, written a lot of books, and is an expert authority and a gold medalist in Sanskrit. So this is how the Hatha Yoga Pradipika begins. Okay, so I want to start with the 2 shlokas of Hatha Yoga Pradipika, and then we'll get into the details, because these 2 are very, very important to even understand why he has written this book, and then what is that he is trying to communicate through this book. So he has clearly written this in his first 2 shlokas. First shloka, Shri Adidevaya Namostasmai Yenopadishtha Hatha Yoga Vidya Vibhrajate Paro Nataraja Yogam Arodu Micho Radhi Rohiniva. So here he is telling that I salute Lord Shiva, right, who taught Parvati the Hatha Yoga. So Shiva Parvatige Hatha Yogavanna ಹೇಳಿಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅನ್ನೋ ವಿಷಯವನ್ನು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. Which is a stairway for those who wish to attain the lofty Raja Yoga. Raja Yoga is something that takes you towards the highest level of consciousness. So he says that this is a stairway. Hatha Yoga is a stairway which will go and link you very closely towards Raja Yoga, from where you can pursue your journey to infinite conscious space. Right? So that is what he says in the first shloka. Second shloka, Pranamya Shri Gurum Natham Swatma Ramena Yogina Kevalam Raja Yogaya Hatha Vidyopadishyate. So here he is telling that Swatma Rama Yogin has saluted his Lord and Guru in the previous shloka itself. And then he says, I am teaching Hatha Yoga only for the attainment of Raja Yoga. So you have to practice Hatha Yoga to attain Raja Yoga. Okay, so this is what he tells in the second yoga. So if you have doubts on what is this Raja Yoga, how do we, what is this infinite conscious space or all those things, probably we will cover a little bit of these things in the 4th chapter of Nadanusandhana and Samadhi, which is a part of Hatha Yoga itself. So we will discuss more in detail of these things there. But for now you can think that before you start your Raja Yoga, you have to have mastered Hatha Yoga. And he has written this book solely for making you enter into the Raja Yoga space. Okay. So what are the various chapters of Hatha Yoga? Now you look at a book, right? You need to understand what are the different sections in the book and what do you want to study or what do you want to start with, right? So it has 4 different chapters, 4 major chapters. Okay. The first chapters, which are of 67 shlokas, talks about asanas. ಸಂಪೂರ್ಣ ಆಸನದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಅದರಲ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಷನ್ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ಯಾಕೆ ಆಸನವನ್ನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಯಾವ ಆಸನವನ್ನು ನಾವು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋ ವಿಷಯವನ್ನು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಕರೆಕ್ಟಾಗಿ ನಮಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ತಿಳಿಸಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ 1. ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ 2 ಬಂದು ಪ್ರಾಣಾಯಾಮದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಸಂಪೂರ್ಣ ಮಾಹಿತಿ ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಪ್ರಾಣಾಯಾಮ ಅಂದರೆ ಏನು, ಯಾಕೆ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ವಾಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಆಫ್ ನಾಡೀಸ್, what do you mean by purifying a nadi, right? And how is the movement of prana happening? All these pieces of information, and how do you control prana, how do you amplify your pranic energy, what are the different techniques using which you can do this, and also how do you go to thoughtless state. ಈ ಸಂಪೂರ್ಣ ಮಾಹಿತಿಯನ್ನು ಪ್ರಾಣಾಯಾಮ ಚಾಪ್ಟರಲ್ಲಿ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ, 2ನೇ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್. 3ನೇ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ ಇದು ಅರೌಂಡ್ 78 ಶ್ಲೋಕಾಸ್ ಇದೆ. 3ನೇ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ ಬಂದು ಮುದ್ರಾಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಬಂದಾಸ್. ಮುದ್ರಾಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಬಂದಾಸ್ನ ನಾನು ಸೆಷನ್ 2ನಲ್ಲಿ ಡೀಟೇಲಾಗಿ ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಮೇನ್ಲಿ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟ್ ಈಸ್ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಪ್ರಾಣಾಯಾಮದಲ್ಲಿ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಪ್ರಾಣಕ್ಕೆ ಒಂದು ಆಯಾಮವನ್ನು ಕೊಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಆ ಪ್ರಾಣವನ್ನು ಮೂವ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಸಂಪೂರ್ಣ ದ ಮೂಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಪ್ರಾಣಿಕ್ ಎನರ್ಜಿ, ರೈಟ್. ದ ಥರ್ಡ್ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ ಟಾಕ್ಸ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ಹೌ ಡು ಯು ಫಿಕ್ಸ್ ದಟ್ ಪ್ರಾಣಿಕ್ ಎನರ್ಜಿ ಟು ಅನ್ ಎನರ್ಜಿ ಪಾಯಿಂಟ್ or a specific point. You are making that energy which is moving stationary. ಒಂದು ಕಡೆ ಹೇಗೆ ನಿಲ್ಲಿಸೋದು ಅದನ್ನು ಅನ್ನೋ ಕಾನ್ಸೆಪ್ಟನ್ನು ಮುದ್ರಾಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಬಂದಾಸಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ವಿಚ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಅರೌಂಡ್ 130 ಶ್ಲೋಕಾಸ್, ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಲಾರ್ಜೆಸ್ಟ್ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಬುಕ್. 130 ಶ್ಲೋಕಾಸ್ ಇದೆ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಅವೇಕನಿಂಗ್ ಆಫ್ ಕುಂಡಲಿನಿ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಹಿ ಟಾಕ್ಸ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ಇನ್ ದಿ ಪ್ರಾಣಾಯಾಮ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ ಇಟ್ ಸೆಲ್ಫ್. ಬಟ್ ಆ ಅವೇಕನಿಂಗ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಕುಂಡಲಿನಿ ಅದನ್ನು ಹೇಗೆ ಆ್ಯಂಪ್ಲಿಫೈ ಮಾಡೋದು ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಹೌ ಡು ಯು ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸ್ ದ ಪೇಸ್, ಅದರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನಿಮಗೆ ಮುದ್ರಾಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಬಂದಾಸಲ್ಲಿ ಸಂಪೂರ್ಣ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಷನ್ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ 4ನೇ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ ಬಂದು ಸಮಾಧಿ. ಸೊ ಸಮಾಧಿ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ನಾದಾನುಸಂಧಾನದ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಒನ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿ ವೆರಿ ವೆರಿ ಪ್ರಿಸೈಸ್ ಡೆಫಿನಿಷನ್ಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಅ ಕಂಪ್ಲೀಟ್ ಡೀಟೇಲ್ಡ್ ಅನಾಲಿಸಿಸ್ ಆಫ್ ವಾಟ್ ಸಮಾಧಿ ಈಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಹೌ ಡು ಯು ಅಟೈನ್ ದಟ್ ಸ್ಟೇಟ್, ಅದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಸಂಪೂರ್ಣವಾದ ಮಾಹಿತಿಯನ್ನು ಕೊಟ್ಟಿರ್ತಾರೆ. ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ 4ಅಲ್ಲಿ 114 ಶ್ಲೋಕಾಸ್ ಇರುತ್ತೆ. ಸೊ ದೀಸ್ ಆರ್ ದ 4 ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ ಪೀಸಸ್. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಹೌ ಡು ವಿ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರೆಸ್? ಸೇಮ್ ವೇ 1, 2, 3 and 4. Okay, so this is how we progress, and this is how the chapters have been defined. So before going to understanding Hatha Yoga Pradipika, you have to understand what the Hatha Yoga Pradipika means. Ha ಅಂದರೆ ಏನು, ಠ ಅಂದರೆ ಏನು, ಯೋಗ ಅಂದರೆ ಏನು, ಪ್ರದೀಪಿಕಾ ಅಂದರೆ ಏನು, 4 ವರ್ಡ್ಸ್ ಇದೆ, ರೈಟ್. ಹ, ಸನ್ ರೆಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ದಿ ಪ್ರಾಣ. ಬ್ಲೈಂಡಾಗಿ ನೋಡಿ, ಐ ವಿಲ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪ್ಲೈನ್ ಯು ಆಫ್ಟರ್ ದ್ಯಾಟ್. ಠ, ಮೂನ್ ರೆಪ್ರೆಸೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ದಿ ಅಪಾನ. ದ ಯೂನಿಯನ್ ಆಫ್ ಪ್ರಾಣ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಅಪಾನ is yoga. The term yoga. Yoga means union. So in this context, it is the union of prana and apana vayus, or prana and apana energies. Pradipika, something that illuminates or sheds light on this process of how do you integrate your prana and apana together. Okay, so this book is all about talking about, at least the name of the book says that it is talking about the amalgamation or union of prana and apanic energies, and then moving that energy into the Sushumna Nadi. So what is that process? What are the details? We will discuss. So if you look at this diagram, I'll come to the details of this diagram later. I have one specific details that Swatmarama himself says, but I'll come there. But if you look at this diagram quickly, you will know that there is something called as Surya Nadi and Chandra Nadi. So you can see this orange and blue, right? Surya Nadi and Chandra Nadi. And the pranic energy is basically the energy on the upper part of your body, which starts from your Vishuddhi Agna to below. It's the energy that is responsible for, upper part of your body, Vayu, Prana Vayu, upper part of the body. Apana Vayu, which is on the lower part of the body, towards Mooladhara Chakra, right? So you are trying to move your prana down and your apana up from the lower part of your body, and they merge, they become one together, right? So this process, how do you do it, is something that Swatmarama talks about in the further chapters. But if you just take the word Hatha Yoga Pradipika, it is about merging these two energies, your prana and apana, and then this is a book that sheds light on how do you do it. Clear? Any doubts till now? Okay. So in this session, we'll focus on only 2 aspects of this entire Hatha Yoga Pradipika. One on asanas and the second one on pranayama. So now the first chapter I told you is about asanas. Now let's see how that is further bifurcated. Right? What are the things that are bifurcated as a part of the asanas itself? So asana chapter itself is divided into 3 parts. 3 part ಇದೆ ಇದರಲ್ಲಿ. ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಬಂದು ಪ್ರೀ ರಿಕ್ವಿಸಿಟ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಯೋಗ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಯೋಗ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ ಏನೇನು ಪ್ರೀ ರಿಕ್ವಿಸಿಟ್ಸ್ ಇರಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋ ವಿಷಯವನ್ನು ಕ್ಲಿಯರಾಗಿ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ 1ನಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಪಾರ್ಟ್ 2 ಬಂದು ಸಂಪೂರ್ಣ ಡೆಫಿನಿಷನ್ ಆಫ್ ಆಸನಾಸ್, ಯಾವ್ಯಾವ ಆಸನವನ್ನು ನಾವು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಆ ಆಸನದಿಂದ ನಮಗೆ ಏನು ಬೆನಿಫಿಟ್ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ ಅನ್ನೋದನ್ನು ಸ್ವಾತ್ಮಾರಾಮ ಅವರು ಕ್ಲಿಯರಾಗಿ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ 2ನಲ್ಲಿ. ಚಾಪ್ಟರ್ 3ನಲ್ಲಿ ಈ ಆಸನಗಳನ್ನು ನೀವು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ, ಹಠಯೋಗಕ್ಕೆ ನೀವು ಎಂಟರ್ ಆಗಿದ್ದೀರಾ, ಇದನ್ನು ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ನಿಮ್ಮ ಆಹಾರ ಪದ್ಧತಿ ಹೇಗಿರಬೇಕು, ವಾಟ್ ಶುಡ್ ಬಿ ಯರ್ ಡಯಟ್ರಿ ಪ್ರಿಸ್ಕ್ರಿಪ್ಷನ್ಸ್. ಓಕೆ, ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದೆನ್ ದೆರ್ ಆರ್ ಅದರ್ ಲೈಫ್ ಸ್ಟೈಲ್ ಪ್ರಿಸ್ಕ್ರಿಪ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ. ಊಟ ಒಂದೇ ಅಲ್ಲ, ರೈಟ್? ವೆನ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸಿಂಗ್ ದಿಸ್, ಹೌ ಯು ಶುಡ್ ಬಿ ಆ್ಯಸ್ ಎ ಬೀಯಿಂಗ್ ಅನ್ನೋದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆನೂ ಸಾಕಷ್ಟು ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಷನನ್ನು ಕೊಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಇದು 3 ಪಾರ್ಟ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ಫಸ್ಟ್ 16 ಶ್ಲೋಕಾಸ್ is the first part. Next 38 shlokas all about asanas, and the last 13 shlokas about diet and other prescriptions. Okay, so idu 3 part. Clear on the structuring? So now let's start the first part. Okay, so idralli 3 part alli first chapter 3 parts alli now we are talking about the first part. Okay, which is about invocation and prerequisites of yogas. So 1 to 3 shlokas, first 3 shlokas ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂದರೆ, he basically, I think we already read 2 shlokas, right, where he said he is invoking the divinity, he is saying that Shiva taught this paddhati to Parvati, right, and then he is also saying he is also putting his greetings to his teacher. ಗುರುವಿಗೆ ಅವನ ಭಕ್ತಿಯನ್ನು ತೋರಿಸೋದನ್ನು ನಾವು ನೋಡ್ಬೋದು. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಇನ್ನೊಂದು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ 3rd ಶ್ಲೋಕದಲ್ಲಿ, ದಟ್ ಫಾರ್ ಪೀಪಲ್ ಯಾವ ಪುಸ್ತಕ ಓದಬೇಕು, 100 ಪುಸ್ತಕ 1000 ಪುಸ್ತಕ ಇದೆ ಯೋಗದ ಮೇಲೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ, ಯಾವ ಪುಸ್ತಕವನ್ನು ಓದಬೇಕು ನಾವು? ಪೀಪಲ್ ಹೂ ಆರ್ ವಾಂಡ್ರಿಂಗ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಡಾರ್ಕ್ನೆಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಕಾನ್ಫ್ಲಿಕ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಡಾಕ್ಟ್ರೈನ್ಸ್, ignorant of Raja Yoga. You are taking 100 books, you are going to market, you go, yesterday we went there, right? You saw so many books are there, which book to read? Where do I get the authentic knowledge from? Right? So Swatmarama says that for people who are wandering in the darkness of conflicting doctrines, ignorant of Raja Yoga, he says the most compassionate Swatmarama, he is bringing that compassion for you, right? So that you can see it's is bringing an emotion towards you, a compassion towards you. He says that the most compassionate Swatmarama yogin offers the light of Hatha Yoga. He says don't be lost in 100 scriptures, just take this Hatha Yoga and study and practice. Okay, so these 3 he establishes the fact that this was taught by Shiva to Parvati, and he has also established the fact that people are lost with hundreds of doctrines, and now you have to pick up Hatha Yoga Pradipika and practice it. This will be the best solution for you. He just gives it as an option. He doesn't say, he says yogin offers the light of Hatha Yoga. He doesn't say please mandatorily do this. He's telling I am offering it, it is up to you to accept this offer or not. Okay, so he establishes these 3 things very well in the first 3 shlokas. Then 4 to 9 he talks about a lot of yogis, right? It's like giving a reference to you. There, look at these masters, teachers, 30 yogins who have already practiced this Hatha Yoga, right, and then given this knowledge to us. So he is establishing that credibility through these 30 different teachers and masters, and he also talks about the entire lineage of 30 people. So you can go and check it out, who are these 30. I have not put the list here, but you can go and check it out. And he says Swatmarama learnt. You can ask, okay, Swatmarama has written this book, has he learnt this, has he practiced this? So Swatmarama says that I have learnt this by the favor of Matsyendra and Goraksha and others. He takes these 2 names predominantly, Matsyendra and Goraksha. These are the 2 teachers, and he says by the grace of these 2 teachers and others, I have learnt this. Okay, so he establishes that he is not just a guy who is writing the book, he has also followed it and learnt it. Okay, so you can basically see what he is trying to tell here. So he talks about this in between the 4th to 9th shlokas, and the 10th shloka he talks about how the place where you practice this should be. Where should you practice Hatha Yoga? ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಹೆಂಗಿರಬೇಕು ಜಾಗ ಅನ್ನೋದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಸಾರಿ ಐ ಮಿಸ್ಡ್ ಇಟ್. ಸೊ ಇಲ್ಲಿ 10th ಯಾಕೆ ಹಠ ಯೋಗವನ್ನು ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಹಿಯರ್ ಇಫ್ ಯು ಸಿ, he says it is a sheltering monastery for those scorched by all three types of pain. In this world, there are three types of pains that anybody will go through. Right? First one bandu body and mind, a pain which will attack your body and mind. Right? Second one, planetary influences, adhyatmika, adidaivika, adhibautika. First one is planetary influences. First one is body, mind, planetary influences, and other creatures. It can be the harm that is brought to you by maybe a tiger will attack you, lion will attack you. In this probably you can consider some insect bit you and you got some problem, right? So all are these three, he categorizes these three types of pains, right? And he says by practicing hatha yoga you can elevate these three types of pains. Okay, so he talks about this in this shloka 10, and he also tells that whoever is engaged in practicing, for people who are engaged in practicing every kind of yoga, you might have been practicing multiple other forms also, any kind of yoga, he says this is like a tortoise that supports the world. You can imagine, he says this is the fundamental basic element on top of which everything else is sitting. The world is sitting on a tortoise, right? So he is basically telling that in shloka 10. Then it comes the place of practice. So he says secrecy is very important in hatha yoga. Don't reveal what you are doing to others. He says this, right? So it says it has to be kept secretive, otherwise it will become ineffective. Why is it to be a secret practice? That is something, a different concept that we can talk altogether. But he says that keep it a secret, so that when you have kept it a secret, it belongs only to you, and you know how you are progressing, what you are doing, and this will help you in terms of making it more effective. Right? Then he talks about how the place where you worship should be our country. So you should be in a good country, you should be free of disturbances, without thieves, right? Away from rock, fire, water, all these places, right? So he talks about how the place should be. Basically it should be in a place which is suitable for you to sit and practice, right? And he says be free in the mind of all cares, practice only yoga at the time which is taught by the guru. So he very clearly says you should only practice it as it is taught by the guru. So you should always have a guru. You cannot just go and sit in some matha and say I will practice myself. Okay, so he says you need to be taught by a guru. And he says when you are practicing yoga, hatha yoga, what are the 6 things that will help you succeed, and what are the 6 things that will put you to failure? What are the things that you need to keep in mind for success and failure of this yoga? 6 causes by which it fails. Okay, overeating, over-excretion, excessive talk, the observance of unsuitable disciplines, promiscuous company, and unsteadiness. So these are the 6 factors by which it will pull you down. Clear ಆಗಿ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾನೆ, ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ತಿನ್ನಬೇಡಿ, ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಕ್ರೀಟ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಡಿ, ಸಿಕ್ಕಾಪಟ್ಟೆ ಮಾತಾಡಬೇಡಿ, ಸೈಲೆಂಟಾಗಿರಿ, and get into not being disciplined, right? And then leave the company which is pulling you towards doing other things and not this, right? So he's talking about very clearly, and have a steady mind that you need to do it. Don't keep wandering, trying to do 100 things, right? ತುಂಬ ಕ್ಲಿಯರಾಗಿ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಇದು 6 ಇತ್ತು ಅಂದರೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಯೋಗ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೂ ನಿಮಗೆ ಸಕ್ಸಸ್ ಸಿಗೋದಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಹೌ ಡು ವಿಲ್ ಯು ಸಕ್ಸೀಡ್? ಝೀಲ್, bold determination, courage, true knowledge. True knowledge you should get only from the right scriptures or right place, right? And then firmness, belief in Guru's word. When he talks about firmness, it is about belief in Guru's word. You don't believe in your own Guru who is saying something, you will not get your benefits, right? And then renunciation of the company of unsuitable people, very important. There is no point in discussing this or being in a company of people who really do not care about this or understand these things, right? So he talks about this. And renunciation doesn't mean a physical renunciation. It can also be a mental renunciation, where you are steadfast, you have a zeal, bold determination to do certain things, and something around you is not disturbing you. Don't assume that you have to leave your house and go and renounce everything to practice this, which is something that is suitable. But he says that when he says about renunciation of the company of unsuitable people, it may not be just physical, also mentally. Okay. So this is part 1. You clear? So we talked about lineage of gurus, where he established the credibility. Then he talks about how your sufferings will go away by doing Hatha Yoga. He talks about the places of practice where you need to practice it, and he also talks about 6 successful and failure tips. Part 1 ಮುಗೀತು. Clear? Okay. Next ಬಂದು asanas. Now we will go through asanas and see what are the asanas that you need to do according to Hatha Yoga. I'm sorry. So first stage of Hatha Yoga is asanas. I told why do you need to do asanas. So 3 reasons he gives. So one, makes one firm, okay, physically firm, mentally firm, free from maladies. You will get away from diseases basically. And the third one is light of the limb. Light of the limb is a very subjective term, which is ensuring that when you say I become very light, I can do anything. It's basically removing all the thoughts from your head and becoming very light. Okay, third one. Then second one he says is establishes the credibility. Like now, who is saying that you should do these asanas? Hatha Yoga Pradipika is written you should do these asanas. Why should you trust Swatmarama and do these asanas? Why he is saying? So he says these asanas are accepted by the sages such as Vasishtha and yogins such as Matsyendra. So he is again referring and setting the credibility here. He is saying these are the yogins who have told that we should do these asanas. You no need to trust me what I have written in this book, but the credibility of doing these asanas is there by Vasishtha and Matsyendra. Okay, so ನಂಬಿ ನನ್ನನ್ನು ಅಲ್ಲ ಕ್ರೆಡಿಬಿಲಿಟಿನ ಎಸ್ಟಾಬ್ಲಿಷ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾನೆ. 11 ಆಸನಸ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಾನೆ ಅಷ್ಟೇ, ಬರೀ 11 ಆಸನ ವಿಚ್ ಯು ನೀಡ್ ಟು ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸ್. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಸ್ವಸ್ತಿಕಾಸನ. So what you see the numbers in the bracket are the shlokas where he is saying this. Swastikasana, Gomukhasana, Virasana, Kurmasana, Kukutasana, Utthana Kurmasana, Dhanurasana, Matsyendrasana, Paschimotthasana, Mayurasana, Shavasana. 11 ಆಸನಗಳನ್ನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾನೆ. 1000 ಆಸನ ಕಲಿಯೋದು ಬೇಕಿಲ್ಲ, ಈ 11 ಆಸನಗಳ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಫೋಕಸ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾನೆ. ನಾವು ಇವಾಗ ಒಂದೊಂದು ಆಸನದ ಮೇಲೆ ಕ್ವಿಕ್ಕಾಗಿ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಡೋಣ, because you already know about these asanas and something, so I'll quickly run through the asanas. Swastikasana, you can see the diagram how you have to sit. So place both the soles of the feet between the thighs and one knees. One should sit straight, balanced body. This is called Swastikasana. I will not get into the details, we'll just move. Second one is Gomukhasana. This is Gomukhasana, you can see how it is. Third one, Virasana. So this is how Virasana is. So your legs are apart, right? So place one thigh on the other, then right on the left thigh, and then this foot. This is called Virasana. Next one ಬಂದು ಕೂರ್ಮಾಸನ. ಇದು ಕೂರ್ಮಾಸನ, ಹೇಗೆ ಕೂರಬೇಕು ಅನ್ನೋದು. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಬಂದು ಕುಕುಟಾಸನ. ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಒನ್. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಬಂದು ಉತ್ಥಾನ ಕೂರ್ಮಾಸನ. ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಉತ್ಥಾನ ಕೂರ್ಮಾಸನ ಪೋಸ್ಚರ್. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಬಂದು ಧನುರಾಸನ. So you know Dhanurasana, this is how it is. Matsyendrasana, so this is how it is. Matsyendrasana. Paschimottanasana, so hinge, this is how the asana is. 9th one. 10th Mayurasana, this is how the asana is. Shavasana. So these are the 11 asanas he talks about which you need to practice. Okay na? He says one more thing. ಈ 11 ಆಸನಗಳಿದೆ, ಬಟ್ ಅಲಾಂಗ್ ವಿತ್ ದಿಸ್ 11 ಆಸನ ಬರೀ 4 ಆಸನಗಳನ್ನು ಶಿವ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಪ್ರೊಪೌಂಡೆಡ್. ಸೊ he says, Shiva says there are 84 different asanas. Shiva has propounded 84 different asanas. Out of these 84 different asanas, right, he says 4 are quantisense. Quantisense means it's more than enough. ಬರೀ 4 ಆಸನಗಳನ್ನು ಪ್ರೀವಿಯಸ್ 11 ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಈ ಬರೀ 4 ಆಸನಗಳನ್ನು ನಾವು ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಸಾಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾನೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಯಾವುದದು 4 ಆಸನ? ಸಿದ್ಧಾಸನ, ಪದ್ಮ, ಸಿಂಹ, ಭದ್ರಾಸನ. These are the 4 asanas. Okay, and he says of these 4, again of these 4, he says Siddhasana is the most of this 4, he says the most comfortable Siddhasana can be assumed. So he is telling that out of these 4 also you can assume the Siddhasana. So he told 11, then he spoke about 4, and he's saying out of these 4 also, if you say these 4 are quantisense, and out of these 4 also he's talking about only one, which is the Siddhasana, which is more than enough. Okay.
4 ಅಲ್ಲಿ 4 ಇದೆ ಸರ್, ಸಿದ್ಧಾಸನ, ಪದ್ಮಾಸನ,
ಸಿಂಹಾಸನ ಮತ್ತು ಭದ್ರಾಸನ ಅಂತ ಮೇಡಮ್. ಬರ್ತೀನಿ, ಅದು ಭದ್ರಾಸನ ತೋರಿಸ್ತೀನಿ ಹಿಂಗೆ ಅಂತ. ಸೊ ಫಸ್ಟು ಪದ್ಮಾಸನಕ್ಕೆ ಬರೋಣ. ಪದ್ಮಾಸನ ಎಲ್ಲ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಬಟ್ ಇದು ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ನೋಡಿ ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ ಆಗಿದೆ ಒಂಚೂರು. ಸೊ ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, he says base of the left heel and place the other foot firmly about the penis or pubis, keep the chin steady on the breast. So you are basically doing a jaladhara bandha. ಸೊ ಚಿನ್ನನ್ನು ಬ್ರೆಸ್ಟ್ ಮೇಲೆ ಇಟ್ಟು ನೀವು ಥ್ರೋಟ್ ಹತ್ರ ಲಾಕ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಜಲಾಧಾರ ಬಂಧ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ. ಸೊ ಅವ್ನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾನಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ, ಕೀಪ್ ದ ಚಿನ್ ಸ್ಟಡಿಲಿ ಆನ್ ದ ಬ್ರೆಸ್ಟ್. ಹಿ ಟಾಕ್ಸ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ಜಲಾಧಾರ ಬಂಧ ಲೇಟರ್, ಬಟ್ ನೌ ಹಿ ಸೇಸ್ ಜಸ್ಟ್ keep it here. Then remain motionless with a sense of organs under control. You should not be thinking, oh, I am feeling hungry, I want to drink some juice, I am feeling thirsty. All bodily sensations and all your sense organs which is trying to do 100 things. He is telling get away from all those things and remain motionless, right? And then steady vision, look at the spot between the eyebrows. So you have to, it is like it's also called Mahamudra. So you are basically Shambhavi Mudra. You are basically moving your eyes and focusing on your Agna Chakra. Eyebrows, between the eyebrows ಅಂದರೆ Agna Chakra. ಕಣ್ಣನ್ನು ಮೇಲೆ ಮೂವ್ ಮಾಡಿ Agna Chakra. So ಒಂದು you are locking your ಜಲಾಧಾರ ಬಂಧ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು you are moving your eyes and pointing it on this Mooladhara. This is the Siddhasana, he says. Okay. So this is about the first asana. So what are the benefits by doing this Siddhasana? So ಇದು ನಾಲ್ಕನ್ನ ಸ್ವಲ್ಪ ಡೀಟೇಲ್ ಆಗಿ ನೋಡೋಣ. ಸೊ ವಾಟ್ ಆರ್ ದ ಬೆನಿಫಿಟ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿಸ್ ಸಿದ್ಧಾಸನ? ಪ್ಯೂರಿಫೈಸ್ 72,000 nadis. By just sitting in Siddhasana, it will purify 72,000 nadis. Why the nadis should be purified? Because if you want to enter into the Raja Yoga, your nadis have to be purified. There is no other go. And what are these impurities in the nadis? We will discuss. ಕೆಳಗಡೆ ಶ್ಲೋಕ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ ನಾನು. ಬಟ್ 72,000 ನಾಡಿಗಳು ಶುದ್ಧಿ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ. This is not what me is saying, this is what Hatha Yoga says, right? Then look at this statement. This is actually, very strong statement. He says you sit in Siddhasana, okay, contemplating on the self. Who am I? Contemplating on the self. Following a moderate diet. Continuously practicing Siddhasana. During 12 years. He doesn't say for 12 years. During 12 years. It can be 1 year also, 1 month also, 6 months also, 10 years also. During 12 years obtains the fulfillment. So you will reach your final destination. Okay. So that is the power of Siddhasana, he says. Okay. Then there is no asana like Siddha. He also tells no asana like Siddha, no Kumbhaka like Kevala Kumbhaka, and no Mudra like Kechari Mudra, and no Laya like your inner sound, Nada. Which we'll talk about in the last Nadana Sutta. So these are 4 things he emphasizes on. That very important. If you are making a notes of your entire textbook, he says Siddhasana is enough for you to sit and enter into the fulfillment state. Okay. So this is the details of Siddhasana and what you can achieve by sitting in Siddhasana. Clear ಆ Siddhasana? ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಒಂದು ಪದ್ಮಾಸನ. ಪದ್ಮಾಸನದಲ್ಲಿ 3 ವೇರಿಯೇಷನ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಓಕೆ, 3 ವೇರಿಯೇಷನ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಪದ್ಮಾಸನ. ಸೊ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮ್ಸ್ ದಟ್ ಈ 3 ವೇರಿಯೇಷನಲ್ಲಿ ಒಂದು ವೇರಿಯೇಷನ್ ಇದೆ ಬುದ್ಧಿವಂತರಿಗೆ ಮಾತ್ರ. ಅದನ್ನು ಅರ್ಥ ಮಾಡಿಕೊಂಡು ನೀವು ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂದರೆ ಅದು ಬರೀ ಬುದ್ಧಿವಂತರಿಗೆ ಮಾತ್ರ, ಎಲ್ಲರಿಗೂ ಅರ್ಥ ಆಗಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಆತ್ಮಾರಾಮನೇ ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಡ್ತಾರೆ, ಆಯಿತಾ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಪ್ರಾಣಾಯಾಮದಲ್ಲಿ ತುಂಬ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್ ಏನು ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಅಪ್ವರ್ಡ್ ಮೂಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಪ್ರಾಣ, ಅಪ್ವರ್ಡ್ ಮೂಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಅಪಾನ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಡೌನ್ವರ್ಡ್ ಮೂಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಪ್ರಾಣ. ಇದನ್ನು ಹೇಗೆ ಅಚೀವ್ ಮಾಡ್ಬೋದು ಅನ್ನೋದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾರೆ. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಇಫ್ ಯು ರಿಮೆಂಬರ್, ಫಾರ್ ಅಸ್ ಹಠ ಯೋಗ ವಾಸ್ ಮೂವಿಂಗ್ ದ ಅಪಾನ ಅಪ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಮೂವಿಂಗ್ ದ ಪ್ರಾಣ ಡೌನ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಯೂನಿಯನ್ ಆಫ್ ಬೋತ್ ಆಫ್ ದೆಮ್, ರೈಟ್. ಸೊ ಈ ಪದ್ಮಾಸನದಲ್ಲಿ ಹಿ ಟೆಲ್ಸ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ದ ಮೂಮೆಂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ದಿಸ್ ಪ್ರಾಣ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಅಪಾನ ಬೈ ಬೀಯಿಂಗ್ ಇನ್ ಪದ್ಮಾಸನ. ಓಕೆ, then he also talks about how the energies can be taken in through the nadis, and he also says that yogi will be liberated, and you say don't have any doubts in it by doing Padmasana. ಸಿದ್ಧಾಸನ ವಿತಿನ್ 12 ಇಯರ್ಸು. ಪದ್ಮಾಸನ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಎನರ್ಜಿ ಮೂಮೆಂಟು ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದೀರಾ. ಮೇ ಬಿ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಮಚ್ ಫಾಸ್ಟರ್, ಐ ಡೋಂಟ್ ನೋ. ಬಟ್ ಹಿ ಟೆಲ್ಸ್ ದಟ್ ಪದ್ಮಾಸನ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟ್ರಸ್ಟ್ ದಟ್ ಯು ವಿಲ್ ಡೆಫಿನೆಟ್ಲಿ ರೀಚ್ ಯುವರ್ ಅಲ್ಟಿಮೇಟ್ ಡೆಸ್ಟಿನೇಷನ್. ಓಕೆ, 3 ಪದ್ಮಾಸನ ಪೋಸಸ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ನೋಡೋಣ. ಇದು ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಪೋಸು. ಸೊ ಗೆಟಿಂಗ್ ಇಟ್ ರೈಟ್. ಕಾಲ ಮೇಲೆ ಕಾಲು ಹಾಕ್ಕೊಂಡು ಹ್ಯಾಂಡ್ಸ್ ಆರ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಕ್ರಾಸ್ಡ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ಹೋಲ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ದಿ ಯುವರ್ ಫುಟ್ ಹಿಯರ್. ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಪೋಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಪದ್ಮಾಸನ ಹಿ ಟಾಕ್ಸ್ ಅಬೌಟ್. ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಪೋಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಬುದ್ಧಿವಂತರಿಗೆ ಮಾತ್ರ. ಬಟ್ ಐ ವಿಲ್ ಟೆಲ್ ಯು ಸಮ್ ಹಿಂಟ್ಸ್ ಆನ್ ಹೌ ದಿಸ್ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಬಿ ಅಕಾರ್ಡಿಂಗ್ ಟು ವಾಟ್ ಹಿ ಸೇಸ್, ರೈಟ್? ಸೇಮ್ cross foot, but he says keep the palms up, right, and put it below, in between your thighs. So you are basically crossing both your arms and crossing both your legs, right? And again he says about one more thing he says here is direct the eyes towards the tip of the nose, so you don't have distractions. Direct the eyes towards the tip of the nose, not in the in Siddha you saw that he was talking about Shambhavi Mudra, right? Pointing it in the into the Agnya. Here he talks about pointing it to the tip of the nose. Nose tip ge nimma point and move ಮಾಡಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾನೆ. Tongue ಅನ್ನ he is telling that put it in the front of the teeth. Front teeth ಕೆಳಗಡೆ tongue ಅನ್ನ ಟಚ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾನೆ. Okay, and on the chin, on the chest, again ಜಲಾಧಾರ ಬಂದ ಹೇಳ್ತಾನೆ. Chin on the chest. And slowly rise this I believe is a wrong content written in the textbook. He says slowly rise upward the prana. Apana is something that you are moving upward, not the prana, right? So this is how it is written in the textbook, but I believe this has to be apana. So you are moving apana from the moving up the apana, right, by being in this particular. Okay, and he also talks about Moola Bandha. So your Mooladhara Bandha has to be there. So you have Mooladhara Bandha which is below, and you have Jaladhara Bandha which is on the top. Now can you see where the energy movement is happening? And he is asking you to move the apana up, so automatically prana will come down. So you are basically blocking the movement of energy between the Mooladhara Bandha and Jaladhara Bandha, and then moving your Hatha, in between Hatha nadis you have started moving your energy. Okay, so this is the Padmasana he talks about. The third variation of Padmasana. Okay, so this is, you would have seen this, right? Normal Padmasana with hands over the hands, right? And then he's telling chin firmly on the apana, right? When you take Padmasana in this form, automatically your Mooladhara Bandha will happen. Okay, so Jaladhara Bandha plus Mooladhara Bandha plus you are sitting in the hands over the hand, right? Again you are locking completely, so for the energy movement, right? And then he says now he tells about one thing, contemplating Brahma in the mind. So he brings the mind aspect also in this asana. In the previous asana he was telling these are the, here he is specifically talking about chitta, thinking only about the Parabrahma or Brahman on the chitta, right? And he says repeatedly raise the apana upward, so prana will automatically come down. So there is a circular movement, you are thinking about Parabrahma, you have completely locked Mooladhara and Jaladhara Bandha. Okay, this is third form of Padmasana he talks about. Clear? So here I have just told so what happens by doing this? ಏನಾಗತ್ತೆ ಇದು ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ? ಸೊ ದರ್ ಇಸ್ ಅ ಮೂಮೆಂಟ್. ಪ್ರಾಣ ಕೆಳಗೆ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ಅಪಾನ ಮೇಲೆ ಹೋಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆ, ಹಾಠ, ರೈಟ್? ಲಾಸ್ಟಲ್ಲಿ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂದರೆ ಇದು ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಬೋತ್ ಆಫ್ ದೆಮ್ ವಿಲ್ ಕಮ್ ಟುಗೆದರ್, ಯೂನಿಯನ್ ಆಫ್ ಯುವರ್ ಹಾಠ, ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದೆನ್ ದಟ್ ಎನರ್ಜಿ ವಿಲ್ ಫ್ಲೋ ಇನ್ ಟು ದಿ ಸುಷುಮ್ನ. So there is a continuous cyclic, you can see, right? Prana coming down, prana coming up, continuous cyclic movement, and at one point of time both of them will merge and the prana will enter into and the energy will enter into the Sushumna Nadi. That is Kundalini activation. Adu munde heltane. So he says by this man obtains unequal knowledge through the power of Kundalini which is aroused during this process. That's all you need to do. Sit in Padmasana in this posture. Continuously keep moving your apana energy up, prana energy down, and keep practicing this. Your Kundalini will get activated. This is not what I am saying, this is what the textbook says. Okay, so this is the third form of the Padmasana. Okay na? So ಇಲ್ಲಿಗೆ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಮುಗಿ ಸಿದ್ಧಾಸನ ಆಯಿತು, ಪದ್ಮಾಸನ ಆಯಿತು. ಮೂರನೇದು ಬಂದು ಸಿಂಹಾಸನ. Okay, so what is the Simhasana? He says Simhasana, all these things we saw two bandhas, right? One Mooladhara and Jaladhara bandha. Simhasana, he says 3 bandhas will happen, not 2, 3, 3 ಆಗತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾನೆ. So, and he says Simhasana is held in great esteem by the highest yogins. He's saying don't ignore Simhasana. Maybe he's saying that when you are considering the other 2 asanas, this also needs to be given a highest esteem because it's held by the yogins, right? This is how Simhasana is. So placing you can see how the asana is. I need not explain. You'll understand very simple. So this is Simhasana. He says this facilitates 3 bandhas, right? One Mooladhara, another one Jaladhara. The third bandha, unfortunately, I was also not able to figure out, but I'll explore more on this. But he says 3 bandhas happen. Uddiyana bandha, correct. Uddiyana. So 3 bandhas happen in this process. Okay. So this is the 4th one, Bhadrasana. So how is the Bhadrasana? So what is the speciality of Bhadrasana? So Bhadrasana, he says, destroys all diseases if you practice Bhadrasana. And he talks about yogins who have become siddhas, call this as Gorakshasana, another name for this. This is the Bhadrasana, sorry. This is how the Bhadrasana is. You bring the legs together and hold it in your hands. So basically he came from the 11 to 4 and yet he emphasized the Padmasana, right? Siddhasana he told within 12 years. Padmasana he also spoke, right? 3 different variations of Padmasana he gives. Then he talks about the Simhasana, and then he says Simhasana you can achieve 3 locks, right? Why is it important? We'll discuss in the mudras and bandhas. So locking your energy movement, right? And the 4th one he talks about Bhadrasana. He says it will elevate you from all diseases, and these are the 4 major ones. He says propounded by out of 84 propounded by Lord Shiva, these 4 are more than sufficient, which you can alternatively keep practicing. Okay.
It's like Baddhakonasana only, Baddhakonasana.
Same. Adike they have given different names for some. What happens is some textuals, right? They're giving one name and then referencing it by the other name. In the future also I'll show you something. Like for example, we say Vamana Dhoti, right? That is a different name in Hatha Yoga Pradipika. But end of the day, the postures are, they just give the description of how the posture should be. Because they have not drawn a diagram and kept it in the book. So you can just see the postures. Okay. So this is how the Bhadrasana is. So first 2 parts we covered, right? First part, second part asanas we completed. First part you saw invocation and other details that we saw. The last part is when you are doing all these things, right? How you should be, what should be your dietary prescriptions and other lifestyle prescriptions. So ದೊಡ್ಡ ಲಿಸ್ಟ್ ಇದೆ, ಬಟ್ ನಾನು ಶಾರ್ಟಾಗಿ ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಡ್ತೀನಿ. ದಿಸ್ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಪ್ರಾಬ್ಲಿ ಶೇರ್. ಸೊ he says be free from fatigue, right? Don't be tired and then come and start doing asanas and bandhas and all those things, right? Then practice purification of nadis. He says it is very important, right? Then asanas, varieties of kumbhaka, mudras, concentration upon the nada, inner sound, right? Then compromise the sequence of practice in Hatha Yoga. Brahmacharin should have a moderate diet, right? And this intent and renouncing becomes a siddha after a year. So he says that whoever is practicing this, a brahmachari who is completely contemplating on the Parabrahma and then who lives a chaste life and following a moderate diet and whose intent is only yoga and nothing else, right? Renouncing the fruits of his actions. See here, fruits of his actions, very important. Otherwise you will create more karmas, more vasanas, right? So living away all the fruits of your actions, right, becomes a siddha in a year. This is what Swatmarama says. 1 year you will become a siddha if you do this. And he says there need not be doubt about this. He knows that mind will put a doubt saying, hey, hingappa ido eno helta idare anta. But next line alli heltana avanu, don't have any doubts on this anta. So if you have 100% trust, blindly do it, then you will become a siddha in 1 year. Okay. Then moderate diet andre eno? Moderate diet is a very generic statement, right? So he explains on that. What is moderate diet? Agreeable and sweet food. Living 1/4 of the stomach free. So he's saying 3/4 matra tinni, little hunger, keep it like that, 1/4 of your stomach free. And eat whatever you eat as an offering to the Lord. Right? So these things that he says as further requirements. Food that should be avoided, food that should be taken. This is very important. So he comes detail ಬಂದ್ಬಿಡ್ತಾರೆ ಏನು ತಿನ್ನಬೇಕು ಏನು ತಿನ್ನಬಾರ್ದು ಅಂತ. ಸೊ ಏನು ತಿನ್ನಬಾರ್ದು, bitter, sour, pungent, salty, heating green vegetables. Okay, then sesame or mustard oil. Okay, then alcohol, fish, flesh including that of goat, curd, buttermilk, horse gram, fruit of jujube, oil cakes, ಅಸಫೋಡಿಟಾ, ಇದು ಬಂದು ಅಸಫೋಟಿಡಾ, ಇದು ಇಂಗು ಅಂತಾರಲ್ಲ ಅದು, ಗಾರ್ಲಿಕ್, ಇಷ್ಟು ತಿನ್ನಬಾರ್ದು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಹಿ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಸೇಸ್ ದಟ್ ಫುಡ್ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಹೀಟೆಡ್ ಒನ್ಸ್ ಬಿಕಮ್ಸ್ ಕೋಲ್ಡ್, ಡು ನಾಟ್ ರೀಹೀಟ್ ಇಟ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಹೀಟ್. ಹಿ ಸೇಯಿಂಗ್ ಸಿ ರೀಹೀಟ್ ಮಾಡಿ ತಿನ್ನಬಾರ್ದು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಮೇಡಮ್. ನೋಡಿ, ಫುಡ್ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಹೀಟೆಡ್ ಅಗೇನ್, ನೋಡಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ, ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಬೀನ್ ಒನ್ಸ್ ಕುಕ್ಡ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಗಾನ್ ಕೋಲ್ಡ್. ಮೈಕ್ರೋವೇವ್ ಬಿಸಿ ಮಾಡಿ ತಿಂತಾ ಇರ್ತೀವಲ್ಲ, ತಿನ್ನಬಾರ್ದು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಒಂದು ಸಲ ಏನು ಊಟ ಬಂತು ತಿಂದು ಮುಗಿಸಿದ್ರೆ ಅಲ್ಲಿ ಆಗೋಗ್ಬಿಡ್ಬೇಕು ಅದರದ್ದು, ಇಟ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ತಿರುಗಿ ಬಿಸಿ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಂಡು ತಿಂತೀನಿ ಅಂತ ತಿನ್ನಬಾರ್ದು ಅಂತ ಇವ್ರು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ ಬುಕ್ಕಲ್ಲಿ. ಆಮೇಲೆ ಒನ್ ವಿಚ್ ಈಸ್ ಡ್ರೈ, ಏನು ಬಟರು ಘೀ ಏನು ಹಾಕ್ಕೊಳ್ದಲೆ ಫುಲ್ಲು ಡ್ರೈಯಾಗೆ ತಿನ್ನಬಾರ್ದು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಇವರು, ಡ್ರೈ ಫುಡ್ ತಿನ್ನಬಾರ್ದು ಅಂತ. ದೆನ್ ಎಕ್ಸಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಸಾಲ್ಟ್ ಆರ್ ಸೋರ್ನೆಸ್, ಸಿಕ್ಕಾಪಟ್ಟೆ ಹುಳಿ ತಿನ್ನಬಾರ್ದು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಸಿಕ್ಕಾಪಟ್ಟೆ ವೆಜಿಟೇಬಲ್ಸ್ ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿದೆ ಅಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಎದ್ವಾತದ ವೆಜಿಟೇಬಲ್ಸ್ ಹಾಕೊಂಡು ತಿನ್ಬಿಡ್ತೀನಿ ಅಂದರು, ಅದನ್ನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ನೋಡಿ ಇಲ್ಲಿ, ವಿಚ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಬ್ಯಾಡ್ ಆರ್ ಹ್ಯಾಸ್ ಟೂ ಮಚ್ ಆಫ್ ವೆಜಿಟೇಬಲ್ಸ್ ಮಿಕ್ಸ್ಡ್ ವಿತ್ ಇಟ್, ಅದು ತಿನ್ನಬಾರ್ದು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಎಲ್ಲದಕ್ಕೂ ಬ್ಯಾಲೆನ್ಸ್ ಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಸಿ ದಿಸ್. ಸೊ ದೀಸ್ ಆರ್ ಸಮ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ದಟ್ ಯು ಶುಡ್ ನಾಟ್ ಈಟ್. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ವಾಟ್ ಆರ್ ದ ಥಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ದಟ್ ಶುಡ್ ಈಟ್, this is not what you need to eat, and these are also some of the things that you should avoid when you are in the practice. ಏನೇನದು, ಫೈರ್ ಅವಾಯ್ಡ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಅಂತಾರೆ, ವಿಮೆನ್ ಅವಾಯ್ಡ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಅಂತಾರೆ. ಫಾರ್ ವಿಮೆನ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ದ ಅದರ್ ವೇ ಅರೌಂಡ್. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಜರ್ನೀಸ್ ಶುಡ್ ಬಿ ಅವಾಯ್ಡೆಡ್, ಲಾಂಗ್ ಜರ್ನೀಸ್ ಶುಡ್ ಬಿ ಅವಾಯ್ಡೆಡ್. ಸೇಸ್ ಅಸೋಸಿಯೇಷನ್ ವಿತ್ ಅ ಬ್ಯಾಡ್ ಕಂಪನಿ ಶುಡ್ ಬಿ ಅವಾಯ್ಡೆಡ್, ಫೈರ್ ಶುಡ್ ಬಿ ಅವಾಯ್ಡೆಡ್, ವಿಮೆನ್ ಶುಡ್ ಬಿ ಅವಾಯ್ಡೆಡ್, ಲಾಂಗ್ ಜರ್ನೀಸ್, ಬೇತಿಂಗ್ ಅರ್ಲಿ ಇನ್ ದ ಮಾರ್ನಿಂಗ್, ಸಿಕ್ಕಾಪಟ್ಟೆ ಫಾಸ್ಟಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡೋದು, ಬೆಳಗ್ಗೆ ಎದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು 4 ಗಂಟೆಗೆ ಸ್ನಾನ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಟ್ಟು ನಾನೇನೋ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ ಅಂತ ಕೂತ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದು. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಹಾರ್ಡ್ ಫಿಸಿಕಲ್ ಆ್ಯಕ್ಟಿವಿಟೀಸು, ಏನೋ ಯೋಗ ಮಾಡ್ತೀವಿ, ಜಿಮ್ಗೆ ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಒಂದು 50 kg ಎತ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಬಂದುಬಿಡ್ತೀನಿ, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಯೋಗ ಮಾಡ್ತೀನಿ ಅನ್ನೋದು. ಸೊ ದೀಸ್ ಕೈಂಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ಹಿ ಸೇಸ್ ಶುಡ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಬಿ ಅವಾಯ್ಡೆಡ್. ಸೊ ಇಫ್ ಯು ಸಿ ಹಿಯರ್ he is talking about food which is very very important, and if you see, this is more of a sattvic food that is telling you need to follow, because that will bring the sattvic lifestyle in you, right? And on the physical side also he says, do not exhaust your physical energy and your physical body and then come and try to do yoga, right? So both has to be balanced anta ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್, ಸೂಟಬಲ್ ಫುಡ್ ದಟ್ ಶುಡ್ ಬಿ ಟೇಕನ್. ಏನು ಸೂಟಬಲ್ ಫುಡ್ ತಿನ್ಬೇಕು ನಾವು? ವೀಟು, ರೈಸು, ಬಾರ್ಲಿ, ಗ್ರೇನ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಸಸ್ತಿಕಾ, ಇದು ಯಾವುದು ಅಂತ ನನಗೂ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, ಬಟ್ ಹಿ ಸೇಸ್ ಗ್ರೇನ್ ಕಾಲ್ಡ್ ಸಸ್ತಿಕಾ. ಪ್ಯೂರಿಫೈಡ್ ಫುಡ್. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಪ್ಯೂರಿಫೈಡ್ ಫುಡ್, ವಾಟ್ ಯು ಮೀನ್ ಬೈ ಪ್ಯೂರಿಫೈಡ್ ಫುಡ್? ಪ್ಯೂರಿಫೈಡ್ ಅಂದರೆ ಆಫರಿಂಗ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಮೇಡಮ್, ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಒನ್ ವೇ ಆಫ್ ಪ್ಯೂರಿಫೈಯಿಂಗ್ ಇಟ್. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಕ್ಲೀನಾಗಿರೋ ಅಂಥ ಊಟ ಪ್ಯೂರಿಫೈಡ್ ಫುಡ್. ದೆನ್ ಮಿಲ್ಕ್, ಘೀ, ಬ್ರೌನ್ ಶುಗರು, ಬಟರು, ಶುಗರ್ ಕ್ಯಾಂಡಿ, ಹನಿ, ಡ್ರೈ ಜಿಂಜರ್, ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಯಾವುದೋ ಪಾತಾಳ ಲೋಕ ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಪತಾಲೋಕ ಅಂತ ಒಂದು ಇದಂತೆ, ಯಾವುದದು ವೆಜಿಟೇಬಲ್ ಅಂತೆ. ದೆನ್ 5 pot ಹರ್ಬ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ಜೀವತಿ, ವಸನ್ಮೂಲ್ಯ, ಅಕ್ಸಿ, ಮೇಘಧನ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಪುನರ್ನವ, 5 ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ ಕೈಂಡ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಹರ್ಬ್ಸು. ಯಾವುದೋ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ, ನಾವು ಹುಡುಕ್ಬೇಕು ಎಲ್ಲಿ ಸಿಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ. ಸೊ 5 ಕೈಂಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಹರ್ಬ್ಸ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಾನೆ. ಮತ್ತು ಗ್ರೀನ್ ಗ್ರಾಮ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಾನೆ, ಗ್ರೀನ್ ಗ್ರಾಮ್. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಪ್ಯೂರ್ ವಾಟರ್, ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಪ್ಯೂರ್ ವಾಟರ್. So these are the things that you need to eat, right? And then nourishing and sweet food mixed with ghee and milk. So if you see, it is so contradicting, right? If you see, it is a lot of things that is ghee, butter, sweet food, ಇದನ್ನು ಜಾಸ್ತಿ ತಿನ್ನಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ನೋಡಿ ನೀವು ಇದರಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ, right? But we have another contradictory thought, right? You should not take more ghee, butter, should not eat rice and all those kind of things. Here this is completely ulta. I don't know when that came, but according to our scriptures, this is what it says that you need to follow. right? And see, this is a beautiful thing. Nourishing and sweet food. This is nourishing and sweet food mixed with ghee and milk. It should nourish the dhatus. It should nourish your tissues and be pleasing and suitable. ಇಂಥ ಆಹಾರವನ್ನು ತಗೋಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ ಬಂದು ಹೂ ವಿಲ್ ಅಟೆಂಡ್ ಸಿದ್ಧಿ. ಇಷ್ಟು ಜನ ಇದೀವಪ್ಪ, ಯಾರಿಗೆ ಸಿದ್ಧಿ ಸಿಕ್ಬಿಡುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ನಮಗೆ ಕ್ವೆಶ್ಚನ್ ಇರ್ಬೋದು. ಅದನ್ನೂ ಅಡ್ರೆಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾರೆ ನೋಡಿ. ಎನಿ ಪರ್ಸನ್ ಹೂ ಇಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಲೆಥಾರ್ಜಿಕ್, ಸೋಂಬೇರಿ ಅಲ್ಲ ಅವನು, ಇಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಲೆಥಾರ್ಜಿಕ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಪರ್ಸ್ಯೂಟ್ ಆಫ್ ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ ಫಾರ್ಮ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಯೋಗ. It can be any form of yoga. See, very clearly says don't follow only Hatha or don't follow only me. It can be any form of yoga. Whoever is practicing, non-lethargic person practicing pursuit of different forms of yoga attains perfection or siddhi through practice. He can be, and he also says age limit to everybody nodi. He can be young, old, very old, or sickly. He can be a sick person and he can be a weak person. He can be anybody will get the siddhi. Clear everybody there. Then and instant on practice will obtain siddhi, not the one who is idle. Idle person will not get anything is what he says. Who will not attain siddhi, right? Yoga siddhi is not obtained by mere reading of scriptures. Very important. You take Hatha Yoga Pradipika, you say every single shloka in it by heart, you follow all 100 shastras. Without practicing it, you will not attain siddhi. This is what he says. Okay, siddhi is not achieved by wearing the dress, right, of a yogin, by talking about it. Just keep talking about this but not practicing anything in reality, right? So he says practice alone is the cause of success, right? This is the truth without doubt. Again you may get doubt, he's Summa saying this, he's saying, he repeats always this sentence in the last. This is the truth without doubt. Okay, so these are the kind of people who will not attain siddhi. These are the kind of people who will attain siddhi. Now you saw what food to eat, what food you should not eat. Clear? So this is the last shloka of the first part. Okay, so he says in the last shloka of the first part, what should be your course of Hatha Yoga. ಇವಾಗ ಆಸನ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಇನ್ಫಾರ್ಮೇಷನ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀನಿ, ಹಿಂಗೆ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರೆಸ್ ಆಗ್ಬೋದು ಅನ್ನೋದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ದಿ ಆಸನಾಸ್ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಒಂದು, ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ ಕುಂಭಕಾಸ್, excellent karanas, right, are all in the course of Hatha Yoga to be practiced till the fruit of Raja Yoga is obtained. Until you reach the Raja Yoga stage, he says these are the three things that you need to. This is how the course of your evolution will be in this process. Clear? This completes the first chapter completely on asanas.
ಈ ಫುಡ್ಡಲ್ಲಿ ಮೆನ್ಷನ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರಲ್ಲ, ಈ ನಾನ್ ವೆಜ್ ತಿನ್ನೋರಿಗೆ ಆಗಲ್ವಾ?
ನಾನ್ ವೆಜ್ ತಿನ್ನಬಾರ್ದು ಅಂತ ಯಾರೂ ಹೇಳೋದೇ ಇಲ್ಲ ಮೇಡಮ್. ಬಟ್ ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂದರೆ, ನೀವು ಈ ಯೋಗಿಕ್ ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಅವಾಯ್ಡ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಬೆಟರ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, ಸಿದ್ಧಿ ಬೇಗ ಸಿಗತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ. ಸಿ ಇಫ್ ಯು ಸಿ, ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಬ್ಯೂಟಿ ಆಫ್ ಅವರ್ ಸ್ಕ್ರಿಪ್ಚರ್ಸ್. ದೇ ಸೇ ಇಫ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸಿಂಗ್ ಸಮಥಿಂಗ್, ಅವಾಯ್ಡ್ ದೀಸ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ಸ್. ಹಿ ನೆವರ್ ಸೇಸ್ ದಟ್ ಯು ಶುಡ್ ನಾಟ್ ಈಟ್ ಅಟ್ ಆಲ್ ಅಂತೆಲ್ಲೂ ಹೇಳಲ್ಲ ಅವರು. ಏನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂದರೆ, ಈ ಸಾಧನೆ ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ ಇದನ್ನು ಅವಾಯ್ಡ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ನೀವು ತಿಂದರೆ ನಾನು ತಿಂತೀನಿ ಪರವಾಗಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂದರೆ ತಿನ್ನಿ, ಏನು ತೊಂದರೆ ಇಲ್ಲ, ಅವರೇನೂ ಸ್ಟಾಪ್ ಮಾಡಲ್ಲ. ಬಟ್ ನಿಮಗೆ ಆ ಸಿದ್ಧಿ ಸಿಗೋದು ಡಿಲೇ ಆಗ್ಬೋದು, ಇಲ್ಲ ಸಿದ್ಧಿ ಸಿಗದೇ ಇರ್ಬೋದು, ಅದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾತ್ರ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ.
ಮತ್ತೆ ಸ್ವೀಟ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಸ್ವೀಟ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಈಗ ಯಾರು ತಿನ್ನೋದೇ ಇಲ್ವಲ್ಲ, ಬೇಡ. ಅದೇ
ಮೇಡಮ್ ನಾನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾರದು ಉಲ್ಟಾ ಅದು. ದೆಸೆ ಶುಡ್. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಇಲ್ಲಿ ನೋಡಿ, ಅವರು ಬ್ರೌನ್ ಶುಗರ್ ಅಂತ ಎಷ್ಟು ಚೆನ್ನಾಗಿ ನೀಟಾಗಿ ರೆಫರೆನ್ಸ್ ಕೊಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ ನೋಡಿ ಮೇಡಮ್. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಸಮಥಿಂಗ್ ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಸರ್ಪ್ರೈಸಿಂಗ್, ರೈಟ್? ಟುಡೇ ಅದು ಶುಗರ್ ಪಾಲಿಷ್ ಮಾಡಿ ಏನೋ ಮಾಡಿ ವೈಟಾಗಿ ನಾವು ತೊಗೊಂಬಂದುಬಿಡ್ತೀವಿ. ಬಟ್ ಅವರು ನ್ಯಾಚುರಲ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ ಇಸ್ ದಟ್ ಬ್ರೌನ್ ಶುಗರ್. ಈಸ್ ರೆಫರಿಂಗ್ ಟು ದಟ್ ಬ್ರೌನ್ ಶುಗರ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ. ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ರಿಯಲಿ ಗುಡ್. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಯು ಸಿ ಎವ್ರಿಥಿಂಗ್ ನ್ಯಾಚುರಲ್. ದಟ್ ಈಸ್ ವೆರ್ ಹಿ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಟಾಕ್ಸ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ಸೇ ಪ್ಯೂರ್ ಫುಡ್ ಆರ್ ವೆರಿ ಕ್ಲೀನ್ ಫುಡ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರಲ್ಲ ಅದು. ಸೊ ಇದು ಪಾರ್ಟ್ 1. ಸೊ ಯು ವಾಂಟ್ ಟು ಟೇಕ್ ಎ ಬ್ರೇಕ್ ಸರ್ ಫಾರ್ ಬಿಫೋರ್ ಪ್ರಾಣಾಯಾಮ ಸ್ಟಾರ್ಟ್, ಆರ್ 5 minutes break? Or and one is pranayama. So what do we do in what is the major things in pranayama? We will see that now according to Hatha Yoga Pradipika. 4 parts. Okay, 4 part. First part, all shloka, why should you do pranayama? He talks about why I should do pranayama in the first 6 shlokas. Second 14 shlokas, he says how you should do pranayama and what are the benefits you are going to get by doing pranayama. ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಪಾರ್ಟು. ಥರ್ಡ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ಬಂದು ಷಡ್ ಕ್ರಿಯಾಸ್. ಐ ಥಿಂಕ್ ಎಸ್ಟರ್ಡೇ ಯು ಆಲ್ ಡಿಡ್ ಕ್ರಿಯಾಸ್, ರೈಟ್? ಸೊ ಇಟ್ ಟಾಕ್ಸ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ದಿಸ್ ಷಡ್ ಕ್ರಿಯಾಸ್ ಹಿಯರ್, 6 ಕ್ರಿಯೆಗಳು. ಓಕೆ, ಪಾರ್ಟ್ 3. ಪಾರ್ಟ್ 4 ವೇರಿಯಸ್ ಪ್ರಾಣಾಯಾಮ ಟೆಕ್ನಿಕ್ಸ್. 8 ಟೆಕ್ನಿಕ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾನೆ. ವೇರಿಯಸ್ ಪ್ರಾಣಾಯಾಮ ಟೆಕ್ನಿಕ್ಸ್ ಆನ್ ದಿ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ 4. ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್? ಸೊ ಪ್ರಾಣಾಯಾಮ 4 pieces. Why you should do it and how should you do it and what are the benefits. Then ಷಡ್ ಕ್ರಿಯಾಸ್ and various pranayama techniques. ಅಷ್ಟೇ 4 parts. Why should you do pranayama? Part 1. So lot of things are there, but I'll tell you few things in brief. So he says, once you have perfected yourself in asanas, right, you should practice pranayama. And again he brings in the concept of according to the instructions of his guru. Without a guru you should not do it. Okay, he will also talk about what will happen if you do pranayama wrongly. ಅದು ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾನೆ, ಹೇಳ್ತೀನಿ ನಾನು. ಬಟ್ ಹಿಯರ್ ಕ್ಲಿಯರಾಗಿ ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾನೆ, ಗುರೂಸ್ ಇನ್ಸ್ಟ್ರಕ್ಷನ್ಸ್ ಇಲ್ಲದೆ ಅಲ್ಲೇ ಮಾಡೋಂಗಿಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ. ಓಕೆ, ದೆನ್ ಸೆನ್ಸಸ್ ಅಂಡರ್ ಕಂಟ್ರೋಲ್, ಕನ್ಫಾರ್ಮಿಂಗ್ ಟು ದಿ ಬೆನಿಫಿಷಿಯಲ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಮಾಡ್ರೇಟ್ ಡಯಟ್. ದಿಸ್ ವಿ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಆಲ್ರೆಡಿ ಸ್ಪೋಕನ್, ಮಾಡ್ರೇಟ್ ಡಯಟ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾತಾಡಿದ್ದೀವಿ. ದೆನ್ irregular energy mind is unsteady, still energy mind is still, therefore energy should be restrained. We saw in that asanas, right, we are moving up and down the energy, right? So he talks that irregular energy movements will cause you a fickle mind. So ಅದನ್ನು ಹೆಂಗೆ ರೆಗ್ಯುಲರೈಸ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಅನ್ನೋದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಮಾತಾಡ್ತಾರೆ, right? And then he also talks when nadis are full of impurities, the energy does not go into the ಸುಷುಮ್ನ ನಾಡಿ. ವಿ ಸ್ಪೋಕ್, ರೈಟ್? ಮೇಲೆ ಕೆಳಗೆ ನಾಡಿನಲ್ಲಿ ಇಡಾಪಿಂಗಲದಲ್ಲಿ ಎನರ್ಜಿನ ಮೂವ್ಮೆಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಟ್ಟು ಕಂಟಿನ್ಯೂಸ್ ಆಗಿ ಮೂವ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಮರ್ಜ್ ಆಗಿಬಿಟ್ಟು ಸುಷುಮ್ನ ನಾಡಿ ಒಳಗಡೆ ಅದು ಎನರ್ಜಿ ಎಂಟರ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಮಾತಾಡಿದ್ವಿ ಅಲ್ವಾ? ಸೊ ಆ ನಾಡಿಗಳಲ್ಲೇ ಇಂಪ್ಯೂರಿಟೀಸ್ ಇದ್ದರೆ ಹೌ ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಯು ವಿಲ್ ನಾಟ್ ಬಿ ಏಬಲ್ ಟು ಮೂವ್ ದಟ್ ಎನರ್ಜಿ ಅಪ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಡೌನ್, ರೈಟ್? ಸೊ ಈ ಸೇಸ್ ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ ಇಸ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಪ್ಯೂರಿಫೈ ದೋಸ್ ನಾಡೀಸ್. ಆ ಪ್ಯೂರಿಫಿಕೇಷನ್ ಪ್ರಾಸೆಸ್ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಎಷ್ಟು ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟು ಅನ್ನೋದೇ ಹೇಳ್ತಾನೆ. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಪ್ರಾಣಾಯಾಮ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾನೆ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ವಾಟ್ ಆರ್ ದೀಸ್ ಇಂಪ್ಯೂರಿಟೀಸ್? ದಿಸ್ ಇಂಪ್ಯೂರಿಟೀಸ್ ಆರ್ ನಥಿಂಗ್ ಬಟ್ ಅವರ್ ಕಾರ್ಮಿಕ್ ಆರ್ ಅವರ್ ವಾಸನಾಸ್. ಐ ಥಿಂಕ್ ಎಸ್ಟರ್ಡೇ ಇನ್ ದ ಟಾಕ್ ಹಿ ಟೋಲ್ಡ್ ಇನ್ ಡೀಟೇಲ್, ರೈಟ್? ಇವರು ಸರ್ ಅವರು ಸತ್ಯನಾರಾಯಣ ಸುಬ್ರಹ್ಮಣ್ಯಂ, ಅವ್ರು ಹೇಳಿದ್ರಲ್ಲ ನೆನೆ ಟಾಕಲ್ಲಿ, ವೆರ್ ಹಿ ಸ್ಪೋಕ್ ಅಬೌಟ್, ಸಿ it is very simple, right? You experience something and based on that experience you get a few thoughts in your head that you need to go and do some other action. Then you go and do some other action that creates an experience for you. Infinite circle. ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೀರಿಯನ್ಸು ಥಾಟ್ಸ್ ಬರುತ್ತೆ, ಏನೋ ಒಂದು ಆ್ಯಕ್ಷನ್ ಪರ್ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ, ತಿರುಗಿ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಆ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಪೀರಿಯನ್ಸ್ ಬೇಕು, ಇನ್ನೇನೋ ಆ್ಯಕ್ಷನ್ ಪರ್ಫಾರ್ಮ್ ಮಾಡ್ತೀರಾ. ಇನ್ಫೈನೈಟ್ ಸರ್ಕಲ್. ವೆನ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ಡೂಯಿಂಗ್ ದಿಸ್ ಎಂಟೈರ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ ಇನ್ ಅನ್ ಇನ್ಫೈನೈಟ್ ಸರ್ಕಲ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ಅಟ್ಯಾಚಿಂಗ್ ದ ರಿಸಲ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಟು ಯುವರ್ ಸೆಲ್ಫ್, ರೈಟ್? Then all this becomes your vasanas, which also becomes impurities, which are part of your nadis. Not just this janma, across ಜನ್ಮಾಂತರದಿಂದ ಇದನ್ನು ತುಂಬಿಸ್ಕೊಂಬಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀವಿ ನಾವು. ಇದನ್ನು ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಮಾಡೋದು, ಇಂಪ್ಯೂರಿಟೀಸನ್ನು ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಮಾಡೋದು ಇಸ್ ಥ್ರೂ ಪ್ರಾಣಾಯಾಮ. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಪಾರ್ಟ್ ವಾಟ್ ಐ ಟೋಲ್ಡ್ ಇಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ರಿಟನ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಬುಕ್. He has not told what impurities are, but there are references in other places where this is what these impurities are means. Okay, so it says until and unless you clear up these impurities, there is no way that your kundalini will get activated or your energy will flow through your sushumna. Okay, now so I mean basically it's all about this energy na last al nodi sushumna nadi is free from all the impurities. Konege sushumna nadi is also free from all impurities. All your nadis impurities will be cleared basically by doing pranayama. ಅಷ್ಟು ಜ್ಞಾಪಕ ಇಟ್ಕೊಂಡ್ರೆ ಸಾಕು. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಪ್ರಾಣಾಯಾಮ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಪಾರ್ಟ್ 1. ಪಾರ್ಟ್ 2 ಬಂದು 14 ಶ್ಲೋಕ, ಹೌ ಯು ಶುಡ್ ಡೂ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಬೆನಿಫಿಟ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಪ್ರಾಣಾಯಾಮ ನೋಡ್ಬಿಡೋಣ. ಹೌ ಯು ಶುಡ್ ಡೂ: ಡ್ರಾ ಇನ್ ದಿ ಎನರ್ಜಿ ಥ್ರೂ ದ ಪಿಂಗಲ, ಮೂನ್ ಆರ್ ದ ಪಿಂಗಲ, ಓಕೆ, ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಇಂಟೀರಿಯರ್ ಸ್ಲೋಲಿ ಫಿಲ್ಡ್, ರೈಟ್, ಫಿಲ್ಲಿಂಗ್ ಇಟ್ ಅಪ್, ಕುಂಭಕ, and then retaining it as long as possible and then release it through the ida. This is how you need to do. Okay, one should practice well kumbhakas 4 times a day according to the text. 4 times you have to practice kumbhaka. Okay, in the early morning midday, evening and midnight. Till they number 80 each time. Okay, so 320 agate per day. 320 kumbhakas agate. Let's say you are not doing in the midnight, 240 kumbhakas. He says you have to practice 320 kumbhakas per day. 80 each time during this period. Okay, na? So this is how you should practice. Then, according to the instructions to life, nadis will be purified in less than 3 months. See what he says. If you follow these things, your complete nadi complete clear agutte within a matter of 3 months. Or ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. First stage there will be ಇದು ಹೇಳ್ತಾನೆ ನಿಮ್ಗೆ ಹೆಂಗೆ ಅನ್ನಿಸ್ಬೋದು ಇದು ಮಾಡಬೇಕಾದ್ರೆ. ಫಸ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಟೇಜ್ there will be perspiration. ಶಕ್ಕೆ ಬರ್ತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, ಬೆವರು ಸುರಿತಾ ಇರುತ್ತೆ, perspiration, right? Second, tremor is felt throughout the body. You may feel shaking in your body, withering in your body, feeling tremor in your body. Second stage. One should control, second stage. And in the highest stage, that is the third stage, highest stage, energy goes into the chief place, the Brahmarandra, right? And one should control that energy. So he is saying first phase perception, second phase shivering ella agbodu body, third phase energy once it enters Sushumna, keep raising up, he says it will reach the Brahmarandra. Okay, this is the third stage. So he says he says highest stage, he doesn't say this is the third stage. He says first stage, second stage, highest stage ಅಂದ್ಬಿಟ್ರು ಮಧ್ಯ ಇನ್ 3 ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ ನಮ್ಗೆ ಗೊತ್ತಿಲ್ಲ. ಇಟ್ ಮೈಟ್ ಡಿಪೆಂಡ್ ಆನ್ ಇಂಡಿವಿಜುವಲ್ಸ್. ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಫಸ್ಟ್ 2 ಕ್ಲಿಯರಾಗಿ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಆಮೇಲೆ ಹೈಯೆಸ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಟೇಜ್ ಕ್ಲಿಯರಾಗಿ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ, ಮಧ್ಯದ್ದು ನಮಗೆ ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದು. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ದೀಸ್ ಆರ್ ದ 3 ಥಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ದಟ್ ಹಿ ಟಾಕ್ಸ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ಹೌ ಯು ವಿಲ್ ಐಡೆಂಟಿಫೈ ಹೌ ಯುವರ್ ಪ್ರೋಗ್ರೆಸ್ ಇನ್ ದಿಸ್ ಜರ್ನಿ ಈಸ್. ಓಕೆನಾ, ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ವೆರಿ ಇಂಪಾರ್ಟೆಂಟ್. The last point, the wrong course of pranayama. If you do it the wrong way, what might happen? Hiccups, asthma, bronchital diseases, pain in the head, ears and eyes, and various other diseases. Pranayama time passing ಮಾಡಲೇಬಾರದು. It has to be taught by a guru and done properly according to how it is taught. If you just do it for the wrong ತಪ್ಪಾಗಿ ಪ್ರಾಣಾಯಾಮ ಮಾಡಿದ್ರೆ ಇದೆಲ್ಲ ಎಫೆಕ್ಟ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಓಕೆನಾ, ನೆಕ್ಸ್ಟ್ 18 to 20. ಸೊ ವಾಟ್ ಆರ್ ದ ಸೈನ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಸಿದ್ಧಿ? ಪ್ರಾಣಾಯಾಮ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಟ್ರಿ ವರ್ಕ್ ಆಗ್ತಾ ಇದೆಯಲ್ವಾ ಅಂತ ಹೆಂಗೆ ಚೆಕ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೊಳ್ಳೋದು ಅನ್ನೋದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಸೊ ಏನು ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ? ವೆನ್ ನಾಡೀಸ್ ಆರ್ ಪ್ಯೂರಿಫೈಡ್, ವಾಟ್ ಆರ್ ಯುವರ್ ಎಕ್ಸ್ಟರ್ನಲ್ ಸೈನ್ಸ್? ಲೀನ್ನೆಸ್, brightness of the body. These are the 2 things that you will immediately notice. One is able to restrain the energy, okay, when the gastric fire becomes more active and then inner sound is heard. You will start hearing the nada. The inner sound is heard, okay. There is perfect health because nadas are purified. So these are some of the siddhis that you get by doing pranayama. Clear? Okay. Next we will enter to the Shad Kriyas. The 6 Kriyas he says. Are you clear with the previous one? How to do the pranayama, how you should not do it, and what are the benefits, right? Next one, Shad Kriyas. Okay, let's see when you should do Shad Kriyas. You can do pranayama only, right? Why should you do Shad Kriyas? So he says, one who is flabby, soft, loose and fleshy, right? Very fleshy muscles, flabby kind of a personality, who doesn't have that firmness in the body, right? And having an imbalance in 3 humors, right? So what are these 3 humors? So if you look at air, water and earth, anything which is bound to air, water and earth. So air, bile and phlegm is what he says, right? So he says anybody who is having doshas in any of these 3 areas should practice these 6 acts, right? Others who do not have these defects should not practice them is what he says. Okay, so what are these 3 imbalances? Imbalances of air, imbalances of bile, which is water, and imbalances of phlegm, which is earth. Okay, being equally balanced in them. So basically you need to bring a balance in all these 3. Okay, so you can consider, I mean this is not there in the text, but when you say air, right, you should consider that you are not having any kind of problems like asthma or bronchitis or different kinds of issues which are related to the easy movement of air in your body. ಅದಕ್ಕೆ ಅಲ್ವಾ ತ್ರಾಟಕ ಮಾಡೋದು, we do the different kriyas for basically ensuring that there is a free movement of air. Then you do different kriyas to ensure that there is a free movement of secretion of different kinds of enzymes in your body and cleaning up certain things which is related to water element in your body, earth element in your body, right? Vamana Dauti ಮಾಡೋದಲ್ಲ. So many things which cleanses lot of things which are related to these 3 things you should do if you have problems with them. Okay, so then he talks about the 6 acts. ಯಾವುದು ಇದು 6 ಕ್ರಿಯೆಗಳು ಇಲ್ಲಿ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ನೋಡಿ. ಒಂದು ದೌತಿ, ವಸ್ತಿ, ಸೊ ದೀಸ್ ಆರ್ ದ ಶ್ಲೋಕ ನಂಬರ್ಸ್, ನೇತಿ, ತ್ರಾಟಕ, ನೌಲಿ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಕಪಾಲಭಾತಿ. ದೀಸ್ ಆರ್ ದ 6 ಕ್ರಿಯಾಸ್, ಷಡ್ ಕ್ರಿಯೆಗಳು. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ದಿಸ್ 6 acts ಏನಕ್ಕೆ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು? Already we know one of the reasons. The other reason is 6 acts that purify the body should be kept a secret ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಇದು ಮಾಡಿಬಿಟ್ಟು ಹೋಗ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ನಾವು ಡಿಸ್ಕಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾ ಇರೋದಲ್ಲ, ಏನೋ ಮಾಡಿದ್ವಿ, ನಂಗೆ ಹಿಂಗಾಯಿತು ಹಂಗಾಯಿತು, ಹಿಂಗೆ ಶೇಕ್ ಆಗ್ತಾಯಿದೆ, ಬಾಡಿ ಹಿಂಗಾಗ್ತಾಯಿದೆ ಹಂಗಾಗ್ತಾಯಿದೆ. ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಆಲ್ ಸಮಥಿಂಗ್ ದಟ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಕೀಪ್ ಸೀಕ್ರೆಟ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಇಟ್ ಇಸ್ ಓನ್ಲಿ ಫಾರ್ ಯು ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಯುವರ್ ಸೆಲ್ಫ್, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಇಟ್ ಈಸ್ ಯುವರ್ ಫಿಸಿಕಲ್ ಬಾಡಿ ಆನ್ ವಿಚ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ಡೂಯಿಂಗ್ ದಿಸ್ ಕ್ರಿಯಾಸ್. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ 6 ಕ್ರಿಯೆಗಳನ್ನು ಸೀಕ್ರೆಟಾಗಿ ಇಡಬೇಕು ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಆ್ಯಸ್ ದೇ ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸ್ ವಂಡರ್ಫುಲ್ ರಿಸಲ್ಟ್ಸ್. Regularly practice, he is saying it produces wonderful results and are held high esteem by great yogins. Again he creates that credibility. In our high esteem, it is held at a very high esteem by a lot of these yogis, and this has to be something that will give you amazing results if you practice. Bastika illa sir, bari idರಲ್ಲಿ 6 ಮಾತ್ರ. In this text of Hatha Yoga he says only these 6. Okay, first one, Dauti. I think you know about it. Maybe you will see a live session on this also, where you are swallowing a wet piece of cloth according to the instructions of the Guru. Again, clear ಆಗಿ ಇನ್ನೊಂದ್ಸಲ ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಅವರು. Okay, draw it out again. This process is called Dauti. Swallow the it should be 4 fingers broad. ನಿಮ್ಮ 4 ಬೆರಳಿನಷ್ಟು ಇರುವಂಥ ಒಂದು ಬಟ್ಟೆಯನ್ನು ನುಂಗಬೇಕು. You're putting it and you're swallowing it, and then once it completely goes inside, you are removing it. Dauti. Okay na? Shlokas 24 and 25 details ಇದೆ, and this is what he says. So Dauti ಇಂದ ಏನಾಗುತ್ತೆ? You will get rid of bronchital diseases, asthma, Phil is a disease of the spleen, leprosy, kind of skin kind of diseases, and 20 other diseases brought by film disappear. Okay, earth element related diseases alla film andre earth element related diseases, 20 other element diseases which are related to the earth will be cleared. Idu bandu Dauti madidre. Okay na? ಎರಡನೇದು ಬಂದು ವಸ್ತಿ. ಇದು ಕಷ್ಟಪಟ್ಟು ಹುಡುಕಿದ್ದೀನಿ ಇದು ಇಮೇಜ್, ಬಿಕಾಸ್ ಎಕ್ಸಾಕ್ಟ್ಲಿ ವಾಟ್ ಹಿ ಸೇಸ್ ಇಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಅವೈಲಬಲ್. ಸೊ ಹಿ ಸೇಸ್ ಯು ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಟು ಸಿಟ್ ಲೈಕ್ ದಿಸ್ ಇನ್ಸೈಡ್ ದ ವಾಟರ್. ಓಕೆ, ಇನ್ಸರ್ಟ್ ಅ ಬ್ಯಾಂಬೂ ಪೈಪ್ inside your anus up till certain point. He says, insert a small bamboo tube into the anus and contract the anus so that you are able to pull the water from inside that particular bamboo pipe, right? And then you have to exhale it out. So this is Vasti according to the text. Okay, and by doing Vasti, what are all the different kinds of things? You have Gulma and Phila, enlargement of glands and spleen, Udara and other stomach diseases. All these diseases will go away, right? Excessive of wind, bile and phlegm are cured. So all the 3 different kinds which are related to wind, bile and phlegm, air, water and earth, all 3 element related diseases will be cured. Okay, this Jalavasti, it is also called Jalavasti, refines the bodily constitution, sense organs and internal organs. It makes the body bright and increases the digestive power. It destroys all the disorders in this constitution. ಮೇನ್ಲಿ ಎಲ್ಲ 3 ಎಲಿಮೆಂಟ್ಸ್ ಇದನ್ನು ಡಿಸಾರ್ಡರ್ ಒಂದೇ ಶಾಟ್ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಮಾಡ್ಕೋಬೇಕಂದ್ರೆ ವಸ್ತಿ ಮಾಡಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಓಕೆನಾ? ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಸೆಕೆಂಡ್ ಒನ್. ಥರ್ಡ್ ಒನ್ ನೇತಿ. ಐ ಥಿಂಕ್ ಯೆಸ್ಟರ್ಡೇ ಆಲ್ ಆಫ್ ಅಸ್ ಹ್ಯಾವ್ ಡನ್ ದಿಸ್, ಬಟ್ ಹಿ ಟಾಕ್ಸ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ಸೂತ್ರ ನೇತಿ ಹಿಯರ್. He doesn't talk about jala neti in the Hatha Yoga. He says, with this we did, right? We know. So take a sutra from one nostril, you remove it out and try to put it for the other nostril. So that's what he says. So why do we need to do it? This purifies the skull and makes the sight capable of perceiving subtle things. ಸೊ ನಿಮಗೆ ಸಟಲಿಟಿ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಅಂಡರ್ಸ್ಟ್ಯಾಂಡಿಂಗನ್ನ ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸ್ ಮಾಡೋದಕ್ಕೆ your brain will get stimulated to understand other subtle concepts, right? Also Neti Sund removes all diseases of the body above shoulder. ಶೋಲ್ಡರ್ ಮೇಲಿರೋಂಥ ಏನೇನು ಡಿಸೀಸಸ್ ಇದೆ, ತಲೆನೋವು, ನಾಸಿಯಾ, ಡಿಫ್ರೆಂಟ್ ಕೈಂಡ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಡಿಸೀಸಸ್ ಯು ಕ್ಯಾನ್ ಥಿಂಕ್ ಆಫ್, ಆಲ್ ದೋಸ್ ಥಿಂಗ್ಸ್ ವಿಲ್ ಗೋ. ಓಕೆನಾ? ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಥರ್ಡ್ ಒನ್. ಫೋರ್ತ್, ತ್ರಾಟಕ, right? So simple, you are constantly focusing on something, a minute object which is at a distance, right? And then you are not blinking your eyes, so your eyes become watery, cleanses your eyes. So what are the advantages you get? All diseases of eyes are removed and sloth etc are overcome, right? ಅದು ಕಣ್ಣಲ್ಲೆಲ್ಲ ಏನೋ ಗಲೀಜ್ ಥರ ಬರುತ್ತಲ್ಲ, ಅದು ಎಲ್ಲ will overcome. It should be carefully kept a secret like a golden casket. ಇವನ ಪ್ರಕಾರ ಇದ್ರ ಮೇಲೆ ಪ್ರಾಜೆಕ್ಟ್ ಮಾಡಿಬಿಡಿ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಿದ್ದಾರೆ. ಇಟ್ ಶುಡ್ ಬಿ ಕೆಪ್ಟ್ ಅ ಸೀಕ್ರೆಟ್ ಲೈಕ್ ಅ ಗೋಲ್ಡನ್ ಕ್ಯಾಸ್ಕೆಟ್ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ವೆನ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸಿಂಗ್. ಓಕೆ, ಐದನೇದು ಬಂದು ನೌಲಿ. ದಿಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ವಿ ವಿಲ್ ಸಿ ಅ ಡೆಮೋ ಹಿಯರ್. ಬೇಸಿಕಲಿ ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ಮೂವಿಂಗ್ ಯುವರ್ ಸಿಯರ್. ಒನ್ ಶುಡ್ ರೊಟೇಟ್ ದ ರೈಟ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಲೆಫ್ಟ್ ಸ್ಟಮಕ್ ವಿತ್ ದ ಸ್ಪೀಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಅ ಫಾಸ್ಟ್ ಸರ್ಕಲಿಂಗ್ ಎಡಿ. ದ ಸಿದ್ಧ ಕಾಲ್ಸ್ ದಿಸ್ ನೌಲಿ. And see here, he says this as the crown of Hatha Yoga practice. ಹೇಳ್ಬಿಟ್ಟು ಅವನು ಇಸ್ ದ ಕ್ರೌನ್ ಆಫ್ ಹಠ ಯೋಗ ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸ್ ಅಂತ. ಸ್ಟಿಮ್ಯುಲೇಟ್ಸ್ ದ ಗ್ಯಾಸ್ಟ್ರಿಕ್ ಫೈರ್ ಇಫ್ ಡಲ್, ಇನ್ಕ್ರೀಸಸ್ ದ ಡೈಜೆಸ್ಟಿವ್ ಪವರ್, ಪ್ರೊಡ್ಯೂಸಸ್ ಹ್ಯಾಪಿನೆಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಡೆಸ್ಟ್ರಾಯ್ಸ್ ಆಲ್ ಡಿಸೀಸಸ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಡಿಸಾರ್ಡರ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್, ಇದು ಟ್ಯೂಮರ್ಸ್ ಇರಬೇಕು, ಹ್ಯೂಮರ್ಸ್ ಅಂತ ಇದೆ, ಟ್ಯೂಮರ್ಸ್ ಮೇನ್ಗೆ. ಇದು ರಾಂಗ್ ಪ್ರಿಂಟ್ ಮಾಡಿದ್ದಾರೆ ಬುಕ್ಕಲ್ಲಿ, ಇಟ್ಸ್ ನಾಟ್ ಮೈ ಮಿಸ್ಟೇಕ್, ಟ್ಯೂಮರ್ಸ್. ಸೊ ಹ್ಯೂಮರ್ಸ್ ಏನೋ ಸರ್ ಅದು? ಓಕೆ, ದಟ್ಸ್ ಆಲ್ಸೋ ಹಾಂ ಸರಿ, ಓಕೆ, ಐ ಡೋಂಟ್ ನೋ, ಬಟ್ ಐ ವಾಸ್ ಥಿಂಕಿಂಗ್ ಇಟ್ ಶುಡ್ ಬಿ ಟ್ಯೂಮರ್ಸ್. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ದಿಸ್ ಈಸ್ ಬೇಸಿಕಲಿ ದಿ ನೌಲಿ ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸ್. ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ದ ಫಿಫ್ತ್ ಒನ್. ಲಾಸ್ಟ್ ಬಂದು ಐ ಆಮ್ ಸಾರಿ, ಇದನ್ನು ನೌಲಿ ಅಂತಲೇ ಹಾಕ್ಬಿಟ್ಟಿದ್ದೀನಿ. ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಕಪಾಲಭಾತಿ. ಕಪಾಲಭಾತಿ ಬಂದು right, perform Rechaka and Puraka rapidly like the bellows of a blacksmith. This is called Kapalabhati. Destroys phlegmatic diseases, all the diseases which are related to the earth element. Clear up. So this is the Kapalabhati. Okay na? Shed Kriyas, all 6 clear, right? Okay. So part 3. Idadmele innೊಂದು last but one part. So see, he gives a summary from the Shed Kriyas. ಒಂದು ಸಮರೈಸ್ ಮಾಡ್ತಾನೆ. He talks about, he says, some teachers say all impurities are removed by the pranayama alone and other acts are not accepted, right? He says some people say that you don't need to do the Shed Kriya, you can just do only the pranayama and automatically all the impurities of your nadis are cleared. But he says that there are some teachers who are saying that also. Okay, when they say that, it's basically you should consider this also is what he is trying to tell you here ಅಷ್ಟೇ. ಷಟ್ಕ್ರಿಯೆನೇ ಬೇಡ, ಪ್ರಾಣಾಯಾಮ ಮಾಡಿ ಸಾಕು ಅಂತ ಕೆಲವು ಟೀಚರ್ಸ್ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಾರೆ. ಓಕೆ, ಯು ಟೇಕ್ ಅ ಕಾಲ್ ಇಫ್ ಯು ವಾಂಟ್ ಟು ಡೂ ಇಟ್ ಆರ್ ನಾಟ್, ದಟ್ಸ್ ಆಲ್. ದೆನ್ ಹಿ ಟಾಕ್ಸ್ ಅಬೌಟ್ ಒನ್ ಮೋರ್ ಥಿಂಗ್, ಗಜಕರ್ಣಿ. ಇದೇ ನಾನು ಹೇಳ್ತಾ ಇದ್ದಿದ್ದು ನೆನ್ನೆ. ಸಿ, ಯೋಗಿನ್ ಡ್ರಾಸ್ ಅಪ್ ಅಪಾನ ಇನ್ ಟು ದ ಥ್ರೋಟ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ವಾಮಿಟ್ಸ್ ಸಬ್ಸ್ಟೆನ್ಸಸ್, ಫುಡ್, ವಾಟರ್ ಎಕ್ಸೆಟ್ರಾ ದಟ್ ಆರ್ ಇನ್ ದ ಸ್ಟಮಕ್. And this gradual process of which brings all nadis under control is called Gajakarni, by whom they know Hatha Yoga. So this is a process where you get that control of vomiting anything. We eat, right? If you get that control of basically pulling up whatever you have eaten and start vomiting it, adu Gajakarni. Okay na? Last part pranayama, 40 shloka, different pranayama techniques. Sir, do we have time for this or we can move to the next session? Do we have time for this? 8 different, we'll finish it. Sorry sir, okay. So he says, what are the effects of pranayama? Same thing now, we have already read this, but here he says some of the, by doing these pranayama practices, right, what are the different things that you get? Even Brahma and other gods devoted themselves to practice pranayama because of fear of death. Okay, one should practice the control of energy. See, in this entire set of slides, I'll tell you what is there. He talks about how do you need to control your energy, how do you pull in apana, how do you pull down prana, and how do you moderate that movement of your pranic energy. ಅದ್ರ ಬಗ್ಗೆ ಸಂಪೂರ್ಣವಾಗಿ ಹೇಳ್ತಾನೆ ಎಫೆಕ್ಟ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಪ್ರಾಣಾಯಾಮದಲ್ಲಿ. ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ಹಿ ಸೇಸ್ The mind is calm, steady, so as long the vision is directed to the center of the eyebrows, why should worry about the fear of death? Some people might have fear of death. It will remove that. Okay, then he talks about nadi chakras are completely purified anta heltare. Then this point is very important. When the energy flows through the sushumna, the mind becomes steady, and the steadiness of the mind of the state is called manonmani or unmani status. What is this manonmani unmani status? A thoughtless state where you have absolutely no thoughts, right? Pranayama can take you to that particular state. Unmani avastha, after the energy enters into the sushumna. Okay na? So idra bagge heltare. To attain it, practices of various starts of kumbhaka. Of course, everything boils down to the various practices of this kumbhaka that he talks about. 8 ಕುಂಭಕಗಳನ್ನ ಹೇಳಿದ್ದಾರೆ. Total 8 kumbhakas. Okay, Surya Vedana, you call it as pranayamas, but they call it as 8 kumbhakas in Hatha Yoga. Okay, so Surya Vedana, Ujjayi, Shitakari, Shitali, Drastika, Brahmari, Murcha and Plavani. These are the 8 kumbhakas. Okay, quickly let's go through them. Before we start, then basic rules. Again, you can do kumbhakas, but some of these things you need to keep it in your mind. One, this we already discussed, right? Jaladhara Bandha and Mooladhara Bandha, right? So he says at the end of the Puraka, right? Once you take in the air at the end of Puraka, Jaladhara Bandha should be practiced. You're locking. So your air has gone inside, you're locking. And you're also locking Mooladhara so that the air stays inside. That energy, pranic energy stays inside, right? And at the beginning of the Rechaka. So mainly once your air is inside, you're locking. Okay, that's what he's saying. Then contracting the throat and the anus at the same time by drawing back the abdomen, the energy flows through the Sushumna Nadi. So he's saying when you do this block, Jaladhara Bandha and Mooladhara Bandha, once your energy is inside and you pull your stomach inside, your energy enters into the Sushumna Nadi. Basic rules. Okay. Then third one, raising the apana upward and prana downward, right? There should be if you keep doing this continuously and if you keep practicing this technique of creating those bandhas and then moving this energy into Sushumna and stuff, he says you become like a youth of 16 years free from the old age. So you need not go to a beauty parlor, automatically you'll become a 16-year-old guy is what he's trying to tell. Okay, so these are some of the basic rules on how do you need to practice, right? Simple. Jaladhara Bandha and Mooladhara Bandha, once the air is inside, is something that you have to commonly practice for everything is what he says. Okay, Surya Vedana, I think this you already know, so I don't want to get into more detail. So it's like draws in the energy outside from the right nadi. Okay, and then you should practice kumbhaka, and then it should like what you should feel in kumbhaka is you are retaining that energy inside your body. He says until it is felt on the hair tip to the tip of the toe, tip of the nails of your leg. So your whole body you should feel that is filled with this. Okay, Surya Vedana. Advantages: purifies the brain, destroys diseases arising from excess wind based diseases clear avutte, and cures maladies caused by worms. Advantage Surya Vedana. Ujjayi, this you again know, but I'll just quickly tell. Closing the mouth, draw the energy slowly through both nostrils till it is felt to be deep and full from the throat to the heart, this region. Okay, perform kumbhaka as before and release the energy through Ida. Okay, so here you are taking it through both the nostrils, but here you are releasing it through the Ida. Okay, na? This is the one the Ujjayi. So what is the advantage? It is all removes disorders of the throat, mainly by earth related element related diseases ಎಲ್ಲ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. Okay, and it also puts an end to the diseases of nadis and dhatus, muscle diseases ಎಲ್ಲ ಇರಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ, tissues related diseases ಇರಲ್ಲ ಅಂತ. And then walking or standing kumbhaka called Ujjayi should be practiced. You can, he says you can even stand and do this particular posture. This is Shitakari. I think making a hissing sound with the mouth, you are basically pulling in the the air and you are releasing it through the nostrils. Baಯಿಂದ ಗಾಳಿಯನ್ನು ತಗೊಂಡು ಸೇಮ್ ಪ್ರಾಸೆಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಸೇಮ್. ಜಲಾಧಾರ ಬಂಧ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಮೂಲಾಧಾರ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ರಿಟೈನ್ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಕುಂಭಕ ಮಾಡಬೇಕು, ಕೊನೆಗೆ ಯು ಶುಡ್ ಲಿವ್ ಇಟ್. ಬಟ್ ವೈಲ್ ಟೇಕಿಂಗ್ ಇಟ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ಟೇಕಿಂಗ್ ಇಟ್ ಥ್ರೂ ದ ಮೌತ್ ಆ್ಯಂಡ್ ವೈಲ್ ರಿಲೀಸಿಂಗ್ ಇಟ್ ಯು ಆರ್ ರಿಲೀಸಿಂಗ್ ಇಟ್ ಥ್ರೂ ದ ನೋಸ್. ಇದು ಪ್ರಾಸೆಸ್. ಓಕೆ, ಸೊ ಏನು ಸ್ಟ್ರೆಂತ್ ಆಫ್ ದ ಬಾಡಿ ಈಸ್ ಗೇನ್ಡ್ ಬೈ ದಿಸ್ ಪ್ರಾಕ್ಟೀಸ್, ಫ್ರೀ ಆಫ್ ಅಫಿಲಿಯೇಷನ್ಸ್ ಆಫ್ ಎವ್ರಿ ಕೈಂಡ್ ಆಫ್ ಅರ್ಥ್ಲಿ ಸ್ಪಿಯರ್. ಅರ್ಥ್ಲಿ ರಿಲೇಟೆಡ್ ಡಿಸೀಸ್ ಎಲ್ಲ ಕ್ಲಿಯರ್ ಆಗುತ್ತೆ ಅಂತ ಹೇಳ್ತಾರೆ. ಓಕೆ, ದಿಸ್ ಇಸ್ ಶೀತಲಿ. Shitali, again same thing. Here you are drawing the entire thing through the tongue. See how the tongue is twisted and you are drawing it through the tongue, right? And then you are releasing it through the nostril. There you are taking it through the mouth, through your teeth. Here you are releasing it through your tongue, taking it through your tongue and releasing it through your nose. So this is Shitakali. So what is the advantages? Destroy diseases of abdomen and spleen and other diseases such as fever, bilelessness, hunger, thirst and bad effects of poisons. Okay, so this will clear all these things for you, Shitali. Bhastrika, I don't think so I need to tell you this. We always keep doing this. So, but here if you see, a lot of emphasis is put on Bhastrika. So from shloka number 59 to 67, he talks about this. Okay, there's a lot of content he is talking about this. I'll quickly summarize this thing, right? So he says you have to do this in the Padmasana position, with the neck in the and abdomen in the line. Okay, should close the mouth and afflex the energy through the nostrils without effort, as it is felt to resound the heart throat up to the skull. Then it should be dropped until it touches the lotus of the heart. Basically he is talking about moving this energy between your throat and your heart. Okay, so that's what he talks about. Heart chakra touches the heart of the chakra, heart lotus of the heart basically, right? Then he says again he should afflex in the same manner and inflex thus again and again. Even as a blacksmith works his bellows with the speed, he should with his mind keep the energy in the body moving by rechaka and puraka. When tiredness is felt in the body, he should draw into the right nostril. So when you are doing this, if you are feeling tired, he says you can move, just use your right nostril to do this. Okay, then after the interior of the body is quickly filled with energy, the nose should be closed tightly with the thumb and the ring finger and the little finger. This is how we do. And having performed kumbhaka as described, the energy should be released through the left nostril. Okay, this is the Bhastrika. What are the benefits of doing this? Rouses Kundalini quickly. So your result of basically moving your, having the union of your prana and apana and moving it to the sushumni will be amplified. The process will be very fast. Okay, and is purifying and pleasant and beneficial. You will have a pleasant experience. It's very beneficially what it says. Removes the obstructions of film, etc. Okay, that exits at the mouth of the sushumna, that exists at the mouth of the sushumna. Earth related diseases which are at the muladhara or at the throat of your sushumna nadi, right? All those diseases will be cleared. That's what he says. Then kumbhaka called Bhastrika should be practiced as it enables to break through the 3 knots. This is where your granthis will be, multiple granthis will be broken in your sushumna, which is basically activation of each of these chakras, right? So he talks about that. It is capable of piercing the 3 knots, 3 granthis, but he has not told what are they, but he says 3 of these granthis will be pierced. Okay, so let's see how this is about the Bhastrika. Next is about the Bhramari. I think this you already know. With the resonancing resemblance of a sound of a male bee, release the energy slowly after kumbhaka, making humming sound of a female bee. This you are already practicing. So this is the Bhramari technique he talks about in shloka 68. Then he talks about something called as murka. So it is murcha. So here at the end of the inflex, a very from assuming the jaladhara bandha, release the energy slowly. This is called murcha. So basically your same process, you are taking in the air, you are locking it. The entire process will remain same. Jaladhara bandha, Mooladhara bandha, locking it, and then you are releasing that particular energy. That's all. So it reduces the mind to a state of inactivity. This is very, very powerful. So we will keep thinking, your mind will be active, doing certain things, right? When you are very disturbed or when you have that restlessness, you can practice this particular technique. Then Plavini, owing the energy which has been abundantly drawn in, completely fill the interior. This is mainly in terms of pulling in as much as possible, as much of air into your lungs and stuff, like into your body as possible, and then keeping your interior filled, right? So he says like you'll become like a balloon kinds, right? So he says you can even freely float even on the deep water like a lotus leaf if you practice this, only increasing the capacity of how much you can pull in and hold like a balloon. Okay, this is Plavini. So again, Brastikas, he talks about three things: Rechaka, Puraka, and Kumbhaka, right? And Kumbhaka he also talks about Kevala Kumbhaka. Okay, these three things. Another 3 shlokas are there. I'll finish it off. Sorry, still 77 are there. So what are the benefits of Kumbhaka? If you do Kevala Kumbhaka, right, the benefit is there is nothing that it is unattainable by him in the 3 worlds. So you become so powerful, you can attain anything in these 3 worlds, all the 3 lokas, basically. Then by contemplating through these Kevala Kumbhakas, you can, and control of energy, you obtain even the stage of Raja Yoga. If you just practice Kumbhakas properly, he says even you can enter into the stages of Raja Yoga. Okay, even the stage of Raja Yoga, which means you are entering into the state of liberation. That's also possible. So Kumbhaka again arouses your Kundalini is what he says. Okay, and Sushumna is free of all obstacles and perfection in Hatha Yoga is obtained. And then he also says one cannot practice Raja Yoga only and not do Hatha Yoga, and only do Hatha Yoga and not practice Raja Yoga. Both has to be practiced together is what he says here. Okay, and at the end, retention of energy in Kumbhaka, the mind should be made free of obstacles. Raja Yoga is reached. So he says basically in this entire thing, by doing Kumbhaka and then continuously practicing Hatha Yoga, you obtain Raja Yoga, and by practicing Raja Yoga, you obtain Hatha Yoga. So these are interdependent. Both of them you have to keep doing together is what he says. So this is the last shloka number 78. So what is the signs of perfection of a Hatha Yogi? So it says same thing I think we discussed in the last shloka of the asanas also, the last shloka of pranayama. He says slimness of the body, brightness in the face, manifestation of that inner sound, the nada, and clear eyes, freedom from diseases, control over this seminal fluid, stimulation of the digestive flavor, and complete purification of the nadis. This is the last thing he says in terms of if I am properly doing pranayama, if I am properly practicing Hatha Yoga, the asanas and pranayamas, these are some of the vital signs that you see on your physical body. Okay, so this is the end of the session 1, which covers both pranayamas and asanas. Any questions, doubts you have on this pranayama things?